there? Is there a dog? Is he alone? Is he at the airport? Is he on a fucking bus? Is he on the plane? Is there a clicking noise? There's probably a clicking noise. Is this a clip show? I don't know if it's a clip show. It's a fucking show. Just listen, goddammit. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt's 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Do. That's an appropriate song for today, for this week, for right now, I think, in my opinion. We're back from Comic-Con. First of all, let's talk about that. We're back from Comic-Con. We're flush with swag.
Crazy.
The two of us went down there. As you know, we were broadcasting live the entire weekend. Did you guys hear the shows? Were they quality? Did you like them? Did you enjoy them? Tell me. I need to hear from you. Write me some feedback. I'd love feedback. I'd love to read your feedback and then ignore it. That'd be fantastic. Please do that. Send me something where you tell me I'm great and I get to go, he thinks I'm great. And then I silently nod and you never know if I approved of it. I would love that. That's great. Keep me in your thoughts, your prayers. Keep me in your prayers. It's so important. Do you think anyone does that? Do you think anyone in their world? Do you think there's anyone in the world?
Sure there are people praying for you.
Seriously, there's no way that can't be true.
No.
Even with all the mockery and stuff that I throw at their friend?
Somewhere there are monks who are praying for podcasters who sin. So it may not be you specifically.
If that's true,
yes.
Do you think that monk who is specifically, because there is one for me specifically, they're praying for podcasts. I refuse to think that I'm lumped in with all podcasters who sin. I think I am exceptional, and I think I'm the podcaster who exceptionally sins. So they've designated one particular monk for me. He's going ahead, he's at a temple, he's on his knees, he's at a stone throne, or whatever the fuck they pray at. He's eating 1 grain of rice every day, and he's painting on it before he eats it, or whatever the fuck they do. I don't know how monks run their lives.
They paint on rice and then eat their own words.
That's what happens in Venice. That's what because you cannot share your thoughts. You consume them. That's the whole part of being a monk. It's the onanistic ritual of being a monk. It's like that's their version of kind of jerking off since they can't. They just go ahead and they write their own words on a grain of rice and then they swallow it up. It's like that's what they do. They consume their own thoughts. That's how they maintain purity. They have this vow of silence, so they can't go ahead and just start blah, blah, blah and all over the place, which by the way makes monks terrible podcasters. I'm not going to lie to you. They are awful at it. As a matter of fact, there's been a monk sidekick on this podcast forever. He's literally been here all 8 years, but he has not been involved. He's trying to. He just sits here and he writes all of his words on a grain of rice and then he swallows it. And I'm like, good for you, Tylo. So, I mean, did he spit? Are you okay? Was I not supposed to give his name? Was I not?
I'm okay.
All right. Was I not supposed to give his name? I don't know.
God.
Is that part of the deal we had?
Was his name.
Well, you negotiated the deal with the monastery. I just want to make sure that I'm on board.
I never knew his actual name.
Tylo. Yeah. All right. So he's nodding in the affirmative, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Always.
As he rings his robes and he clenches his beads.
Although he's not the one praying for you.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. That seems weird, right? Why would they assign a monk to my podcast and yet he's not the one who's so now I got 2 monks who are on board with me. I got 2 monks.
I don't know that Ty's on board.
Tylo, are you on board with me? The rending of the garments does not help me. You're going to have to do something. Do me a favor. Write it on some rice and swallow it. I'll get the message. All right. Oh, he's furiously writing on the rice now. But if there is a monk who is not, and Tylo, I mean to keep you in this. You're in the loop, but you're not in the loop. So I appreciate you, certainly. And we've never really talked. You've just kind of been here nodding and rice eating. So I've never really questioned you in 8 years because that's your gig. And by the way, when Tylo started, he was 10 years old, as is the custom. And now he's a man, he's 18, and we're losing him this year. That's the reason I feel that I can be privileged enough to tell you guys that this is happening. Tylo will be released into the Monk Wild, which, by the way, will be the name of his podcast. Monk Wild. That was a private eye from the 50s, wasn't it?
Monk Wild?
Yeah, there was David Jansen in The Fugitive, and that's who was chasing him, Inspector Monk Wild. He was trying to track him down. So, folks, Tylo is here, and he's consuming rice. He's writing and consuming. He's consuming and writing. But if there is another monk at the monastery praying specifically for me, and I ask you, Lily, I don't ask Tylo, because he's not going to be able to answer me, but I ask you, Lily, do you think that monk is proficient in Kung Fu? He must be, right? He has to be.
They all are.
They know who I am as a guy. Wait, they all are? Tylo, is that true? I can't hear your brains rattle, Tylo. Write it on the rice.
Racism is funny.
What are you talking about?
Religionism, sexism. Yes, all monks do Kung Fu.
Well, that's racism? Is that it somehow? So you know what? With you and your bullshit waving the flag Norma Ray nonsense on Facebook all the time,
Norma Ray nonsense.
I never know if you're for real.
Norma Ray nonsense. That is going to so totally be the name of my band.
I never know.
A punk feminist band called Norma Ray nonsense.
And you will all stand on chairs and perform and ring bells. That's it. Nobody plays a guitar. Nobody plays a drum. All you will do is just ring bells. I think that's a good plan. So yeah, but because you're waving the flag and you're all like, I'm against isms except for feminism, which is awesome. You're that person all of a sudden. Not all of a sudden. I guess you are that person. I don't mean to trivialize who you are in your beliefs. Certainly not. Because I'm on board with you a lot of the things that you say and where you go. But all right, are we again? Fuck! I get distracted by the stupid things. The clock, even the audio thing has stopped moving. Damn it! Fuck! Nobody wants to hear this every goddamn week. Tylo, no, the red thing's moving, so I know we're recording. That's it. But look, but this froze.
No, the red thing does not tell you that you're recording. The red thing just tells you that it's monitoring what's coming in. What tells you that you're recording is if this is moving.
Okay. Nobody wants to hear this every week. Nobody wants to hear this every week. Why am I doing it?
I don't know why you're doing anything anymore.
Because everything seemed to be fine. Let me do it.
Just stop. I want to just do this. It's fine. No, I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah, you are.
Keep talking.
See what happens when you turn the show over to me? I mean, all of a sudden, yeah, it's moving.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
it's moving. All right, fine. Fuck, everybody. We got to cut that out. Do we got to cut that out? I don't want to because then I'll have to edit it later.
I want you to cut it out. See what I did?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you dropped a cool yeah on me, and I think I'm fond of that.
Shh.
He's very quiet. You don't have to tell him to shush. He knows his place. Tylo smiled. You got to smile at him with the cool yay.
I'm not smiling at all.
Because if anybody's watched a Full House, it's a monk. He lives in a Full House. He's going to watch Full House. They actually thought it was about monks when they tuned in. They were like, "Is this a show about us?" A show. It was it was Fumu. It was Fumu. 4 monks by monks. Fumbum. That's what it was. Full House was Fumbum. It was 4 monks by monks. They were like, "Oh man, Full House is totally FMBM." That never went anywhere. That's actually a pretty good idea. The monks, because they always make, what do? They make sacks of rice and they make like oven mitts. How do they raise money for the fucking monasteries? You ever read those stories about monks? They're like, dude, I read an awesome story once. I will tell you this. I was in a cancer doctor's office once. All right. And I was killing time because, what the fuck am I doing there? Right. So I'm in the lobby because somebody got cancer and I'm like, why the fuck am I here? But apparently I was supposed to be there for a couple of the sessions. Anyway, I'm there. Right. Please know that I'm kidding. I'm not that horrible a human being. I'm not that person.
He's that horrible human being.
I could be, but not in this instance. No, when Karen had cancer and I was in the office with her, we were waiting in the fucking waiting room to go get told that she had more cancer, whatever the fuck. I don't know what the announcement was or something. They were like, that's how it was. They rang a gong. They sent a guy, literally they sent a monk out. He wrote on the rice and he threw it. Karen ate it. Boom, your cancer's gone. That's how it fixed it up.
That's how it works.
Well, it worked for her. Went away. So I'm sitting there in the waiting room and I'm reading the New Yorker or something, and they fucking had this awesome article on how to make tofu. And look, I'm not a tofu guy, but I'm also not anti-tofu. I'm not against tofu. I'm not pro-tofu. Tofu exists and I'm okay with it. I don't want to eradicate it from this planet. However, if it disappeared, it wouldn't bother me. I am as neutral on tofu. I am as fucking Switzerland on tofu as you could possibly be. I don't like it. I don't hate it. If you serve it to me, I'll try it. But I'm not going to go, tofu, because literally it's just tofu is just Japanese styrofoam. That's all it is. That's what tofu is, basically. It's Asian styrofoam.
But it doesn't have the texture of styrofoam. No,
because well, that's what I'm telling you. I read this article, and they're talking about how they make tofu, and I was fucking fascinated by this article. Dudes, well, first of all, it's this lineage that's passed down from generation to generation. They've got like these, they have to harvest the particular soybeans, and then they got fucking barrels, and they got to put it in there, and you got to put weights on it and stones, and you have to have this particular brine and this fucking liquid. Well, it's not brine, it's just liquid, and it presses and it forms, and they age it for fucking years, sometimes fucking decades. This particular tofu gets aged, and it's like wine or cheese or anything like that, where the water they use and the quality of the soybeans and the process they use to churn it into fucking. I mean, look, I'm not talking about fucking Yoshinoya tofu right now. Those people don't give a flying fuck. That truly is Japanese styrofoam. If you go to Yoshinoya, that stuff is garbage.
How do you know?
Well, because I've made an intricate study of all of the knockoff Japanese restaurants in this town. You go to Panda Express, boom, there you go. That's Japanese tofu styrofoam, exactly. You go to Yoshinoya, same deal. I have never been to Yoshinoya. I drive by it, and it's so.
How do you know they have knockoff tofu?
You see it outside. You can look through the window.
Even have tofu?
Well, look, I may have not been into a Yoshinoya, but I've certainly pressed my window up against it hungrily, my face up against the window hungrily, and stared through, like an urchin, like a street urchin. I've done that. I've been like, please, sir, I want some morphu. I would say that at the window, and they'd shoo me away because, of course, you have to have money to eat Yoshinoya, and we all know I'm broke. And I certainly don't have the kind of money you can be throwing around at a big time Japanese joint like Yoshinoya. I can't go pull it in there. You know what's funny? I really want to talk about Yoshinoya, but I can't, because anything I will say, Patton Oswalt's already said better. And anything I say will just sound like I'm retreading and covering his ground.
Wait, Patton Oswalt has done a whole bit about Yoshinoya?
He did, yeah. I remember seeing it, and I saw him do it at Largo one night, and I was dying, and it was that thing where you're just like, it's fucking hysterical, but at the same time you're like, God damn it, I thought of all of this and never said it. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying I'm not Patton Oswalt. I'm not that. I'm just saying, parallel thinking. You just go, it was all right there.
Yeah.
It was all right there. That's the best comedy. When you see stuff and you go, God damn.
The fact though that you never mind.
I what?
The fact that you think that in any way, shape, or form anything about Yoshinoya would be good comedy really makes me question everything I know.
No, it's fucking, it's awesome. It's like, it's essentially, it's so funny, and I will tell you this, the Yoshinoya bit from Patton Oswalt is literally just his KFC bit, but he tells it in Japanese. So it's essentially the same. He just, instead of saying sadness bowl, he says sadness bar. Sadness ball. That's how he says it. So it's the same bit. It's just different foodstuffs. But literally, because again, I knew I was gonna love it, because the first thing he said was the first thing I ever thought when I saw Yoshinoya. His bit. He says he goes, because first of all, you see the sign, and boy, if there's anything more appetizing than orange and white, I don't know what it is. And and that was like, I'm in. I'm completely in. Because again, Patton's a genius. But I literally thought that when I saw the fucking sign. I was just like, what the fuck is that weird ass logo? Because again, it doesn't even say Japanese. You see Yoshinoya. Why? Look, if you're going to go the full route and you're going to be Yoshinoya and pretend to be Japanese in America, how is the sign not red and white? How is it not red and white? Someone's raising their hand and it's not Tai Lo.
How do you read a sign that says Yoshinoya and not know that's Japanese?
You know it's Japanese, but it's not really, because again, they went orange and white. Go red and white.
But that
Go
would be
Rising
like
Sun.
saying you're confused about reading the word green because the color is blue.
Oh, fuck all that, dude. You gotta really make it lappy for me if I'm gonna walk in. I see Yoshinoya, but that could be fucking anything in this town.
Stereotypical as
I need a mushroom cloud if I'm walking in and eating at that joint. That's what I need. See, we were getting there, right? We all knew we were gonna get there eventually.
Is that what the mushrooms in Mario are? They're little mushroom clouds?
Ding, 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 ding. Blum. I don't know, man. I don't think so. No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go back to Yoshi.
No, those are actual mushrooms.
Let's talk about tofu.
There's a dude who works up my gym who looks like Mario. Have I talked about that?
Let's talk about tofu.
Let's talk about tofu. Yeah, you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that we get from soy. There's a dude in my gym who looks like Mario. So I literally do that whenever I'm lifting. I'll look at John and just go ding, 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 blum. And he's just like, dude, do your triceps. John is sick of me at this point. He's not really. John loves me. Although John thinks the Batman Superman trailer was awesome. And folks, all right, look. We talked a little bit about Superman last week. And by a little, I mean far too much. We've talked about Superman far too many times on this goddamn show. Again, because as you know, I think he should have been raped. We all talked about this. Whenever I advance that theory to people, again, it's just my favorite thing to see people just kind of like face at me like, "Why, you are fucking bananas." And I'm like, no, I just think of in terms of a hard R. You know what I mean? I'm thinking in terms of a graphic novel. That's if you're going to do something terrible, then do that. That just seems, because that is the worst fucking thing you could possibly do, short of killing Superman and filming it and then showing it on YouTube later. Which, huh?
It's probably there.
The death of Superman is on YouTube. So what the hell was I talking about? Oh, the fucking trailer. I'm not, because in the trailer, it looks like, I don't know the story. Okay. I know the Dark Knight graphic novel, and then they send Superman to fucking basically stop Batman from trying to mobilize Gotham. And that was brilliant. And that worked for me. And I loved it. And I loved watching it. However, folks, it looks like the trailer for Batman and Superman. Because again, first of all, the whole fucking trailer, let's talk about this. Here's how it starts. Holly Hunter's like, we need to talk, or something like that. And she's in a congressional subcommittee. And then Superman walks in. Dude, I don't need to see you make the most powerful being in the world come in and testify in front of a congressional subcommittee. I'm sorry. I'm not tuning into a guy with a cape, pulling up a chair and pulling out his fucking reading glasses and taking the fucking fifth. That doesn't work for me, goddammit. Let him go fight somebody. Let him go fly around. Let him go sleep on a cloud. Let him go live in an iceberg. Whatever the fuck Superman wants to do. Again, I hate him, but who cares? Anything he does would be better. Because again, also, it's so ludicrous. He walks into the fucking courtroom in his Superman suit. And I understand if he wore his Clark Kent suit, they'd be like, whoa, dude, you're totally Clark Kent. But couldn't he wear something else? Like, I mean, doesn't he have like a formal Superman suit without the cape? Just to come in with the cape and the fucking outfit. It's just, it's so dumb. I don't fucking care. Then switch outfits. Then wear some fucking Bermuda shorts. And you know what? Make him wear the shit that fucking Travolta had to wear in Pulp Fiction after they got blood all over him. Make him, then it's funnier to me. He had to get out of costume and had to get into a fucking OC Santa Cruz banana slug shirt, man. Fucking throw it on and go in and testify in front of Congress. Jesus God. You know what? Here's how the whole movie should go. Superman should walk into the subcommittee, sit down, pull out papers. He has a lawyer with him. He shuffles them. He puts on reading glasses to read a statement, and they go, "You're fucking Clark Kent, dude!" And then they're like, "Oh my God, the glasses!" And then everybody knows who he is. That would be perfect. Perfect. At least for silliness. But the whole thing looked, it just, and then, look, I know there are people out there who don't love comic books and probably don't want me to talk about it, but I can tell you this, you're really not going to like what I talk about later in the show anyway, so stick around. Because honestly, I didn't know what to talk about this week. I'm like, well, I did this over the weekend and I did this, I kind of did this, and there's stuff I want to talk about. Like, I didn't go to Comic-Con. Lily and I did not go to Comic-Con. I'm sorry, we wanted to.
Oh, man.
No, we didn't. No, that was.
Stop doing Quaaludes.
No, you were just oiling up random bow hunks on the street. We were on Hollywood Boulevard. That's where you saw those dudes.
Like Comic-Con on Hollywood
Pretty much,
Boulevard.
yeah. All those cosplay idiots.
Hey,
what?
They're not idiots.
So they are what then?
They're
Smart.
cosplay people.
So wait a second. They're smart
They
then
are. They're making bank
for
out
wearing a
there.
Flash suit.
They are wearing costumes and being paid to take photos with people and make memories.
Dude, fuck Black Wonder Woman and fuck Black Marilyn Monroe and fuck White Beyonce and fuck all of the people who are not cosplaying accurately. I'm sorry.
The whole point of cosplay is to be able to blend and merge.
The whole point of cosplay is to get nerds to jerk off to you.
Oh,
That's it.
no.
That's totally the whole point.
Marilyn Monroe as a Ninja Turtle is still one of my favorite things I've ever seen.
Well, then that's a mash 'em up, and I can deal with that.
I love those.
But I hate those people who come out there and just like, hey, I bought a white dress. I'm Marilyn Monroe. And it's like, sir, you probably shave before you hit the boulevard. That's what you should do.
No, they shouldn't. Why are you telling them how to live? Why are you so judgmental?
Norma Ray, put your fucking flag down, please. You posted some nonsense this week, and I'm reading, and I'm just like, oh,
What
man.
nonsense did I post?
It's not nonsense. It's just, I don't know. Again, look, this is going to come off as insensitive, but live your life, man. Quit everybody running to social media and going, here's something that happened. The guy was mean to me at a traffic light. I mean, so what?
I don't think I've ever posted someone.
Not you, but some other people, and then you post articles from other people who write blog posts and entries, and I'm old, man. I'm fucking old. I am, literally. I'm in the sitting in a lawn chair with lemonade and staring at the traffic going by with dark socks on
Oh, that sounds fun.
mode of my, doesn't it?
Can we just quit this podcast right now, go outside and get some lemonade?
Well, no, let's move to Florida. I mean, I'm going
I
fucking
can't.
all out.
No.
No, that's where we got to do this,
No,
man.
No.
The two of us need to just fucking
I'm
bail.
never going to Florida again.
But that's
ever.
the move.
I have family there and I won't go.
Well, that's the move, though. No, dude, we quit this podcast. We quit everything. Let's just let's get like a tar paper shack, like in fucking Shy Boy. Let's just live the song Shy Boy, Shy Boy, Shy Boy, Shy Boy, Shy Boy, Shy Boy. Let's give it one more try, boy.
No.
No, Tobacco Road is the song I'm thinking of. Let's not live Shy Boy. Hold on. Let's live Tobacco Road. Shy Boy's about a guy who can't ask a girl out, so fuck all that. Let's not live that life. Let's live Tobacco Road. You know, we were born in the junk. Our mama died and our daddy got drunk. Left us here to die or grow in the middle of Tobacco Road. That's where we're going. So let's go do that.
No,
You and I.
I'm not going to Tobacco Road. I'm not going to Florida.
Dude, you would look so good with like a fucking... No, man, you totally need like a piece of hay in your mouth and a shotgun in your lap. Oh my God. Dude, we're doing this.
Why are you so mean?
Because this is what we need. Well, I'm being honest.
Mean.
Dude, you totally look like Ma Barker. Like you would totally be out there and just wear like a fucking, like a simple white dress and like combat boots.
Why are you trying to tell me how to lead my life?
Oh, put it away, Norma Ray. Ding, 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 bell. We go to Florida.
No.
Because when I was in Florida, when Jill and I went to Florida,
About Superman.
Dude, when Jill and I went to Florida to visit my mom, it was like, because again, I had been to Florida just when I went to Florida the first time, I went to Miami, so I went for the Super Bowl, and so again, I'm staying on South
Been
Beach.
to a Super Bowl?
Fuck yeah, I've been to the Super Bowl. I didn't talk about that on here. Everybody knows I've been to the Super Bowl. I went to the shittiest Super Bowl the last fucking 20 years. That's a lie. There's been a lot of shitty Super Bowls, but I should have gone to. It would have been a great fucking Super Bowl if what would have happened should have happened, but then it didn't happen, and I had fucking tickets to go to a different game, and it turned out to be a different game. Whatever. I talked about that. Fucking Tom Arda was staying in my hotel, and David Spade was staying in my hotel, and fucking Jay Moore, and who else did we see? David Wells. We saw the Boomer. So all these dudes out on the street, but we were on South Beach, man. So the first time I ever went to Florida, I saw South Beach. That's what I saw.
Yeah, that's not Florida.
So I was at the Clevelander, and then I'm out on the beach with fucking nude chicks, and I'm walking around being fat, and I'm just like, yeah, this is the way to go. And I went to Shula's restaurant, and I was like, all right, this is Florida. I like this. This is fancy schmancy. Well, then I go back to Florida with Jill, and I haven't been, since South Beach. So when I was there, I was like, yeah, it was awesome. I was still literally, I left town in a conga line. I didn't even fly out of Florida. I was in South Beach. I took a conga line back to fucking California. That's how it worked. That's the way it was. But then I go back with Jill, and we stayed in Clearwater the first night, which is fucking phenomenal. And that was yeah, I shouldn't even talk about, but it was, yeah. Oh, God damn it. We had, because here's something I've done, and I do, and I'll probably do again. I will go whenever we, Jill and I go on the road and we check into a hotel, like a fancy, nice one. I don't know if you're aware of this. It's our honeymoon when we show up. And you tell them that at the desk, and they bring you champagne, and they go, oh, let's see what we can do for you. And they try to find you like a fancy, nice place. So we went up to our room in Clearwater, and we had essentially the top of the hotel. Like, I don't know. There may have been other rooms. It did not. We had two separate balconies, one in the bedroom and one out in the living room. Oh no, we had three balconies, and then we had a giant walk-in shower, and then just this unbelievable fucking room, and just. I'm not going to go into all the things that happened there, but the room was ruined. I don't think they can still rent it out after what happened. But Clearwater was gorgeous, and we took photos of the beach, and it was really beautiful, and we had an amazing time. But then I had to go visit my mom. My mom, we had to drive. We were near Clearwater, which is near Tampa, so we had to drive 100 miles south to where my mom lives in Florida. And I got to see Florida. Which is just like a swamp with dudes in it. Like, I mean, it is just airboats and fucking Burt Reynolds as Gator, and just fat sheriffs and cigars, and and just poor people. Oh my God, and old people. I talked about it. It's poor people and old people. That's Florida. Poor people and old people. The entire fucking state.
And that's where you want to move.
Well, here's why. Because we go blend in. Let's just go be old and poor. I'm already old and poor here. We bail. We go live there. We fucking, you bring Eddie, I bring Jill. The four of us can go, and they can still be. Look, they don't have to be terrible like us. We can just be terrible together.
I don't want to be terrible.
They can go off like
Why
Eddie can go.
Are you dragging me into this nightmare?
Eddie can go do his clown stuff, and Jill can do her awesome stuff.
Lemonade.
Huh?
All I wanted was lemonade, and now I'm moving to Florida to be old with you. What the hell?
You're going to wear a white dress, and you're
All
going to.
I wanted was lemonade.
And combat boots. And then you're gonna, who you're gonna dress like? Oh, dude, like Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies.
I hate you so much.
That'll be so awesome. And I'll totally just wear like old 70s.
I will drown you in the cement pond if you don't stop.
Old 70s gym shorts is what I will wear. Old 70s, like with the piping on the side.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm talking about? With the piping.
I do, sadly.
So I'll wear those, and I'll wear dark socks and white gym shoes. And then just some shirt that says like world's greatest granddad, even though I don't have a fucking kid anywhere in the universe. And then you'll wear your granny outfit, and you'll hold a shotgun and have hay in your mouth. And then we'll sit on lawn chairs, and not like good lawn chairs like Chase lounges. Those lawn chairs that are just all crisp cut like waffles. You know those ones I'm talking about? Just
yes.
It's just fabric. It's like that.
Grew up there.
Dude,
it's awful.
we'll
No.
totally, and we'll sit by our mailbox and just watch traffic drive by and tell people to get away.
I just want lemonade.
No,
That's all.
we'll have somebody, Eddie will bring you some.
No, I just want some lemonade right now. I don't want to move to Florida and get old and be mean with you.
Why not?
That doesn't sound like fun at all.
It totally sounds like the greatest fun.
No,
We'll be mean to everybody in the world.
I don't want to be mean anymore, ever.
Well, I don't either. But if we go there, we can pretend that we're mean and just wear dark socks. Doesn't mean we're mean. We'll just look crotchety. That's what we're not mean. We're crotchety. Let's just go be crotchety together.
Crotchety either.
You wanted to be crotchety with me from the second you saw me, so don't even try to pretend.
That's not true. First time I saw you, I thought you were a comic genius.
And then what happened? And then everything went to hell.
I wouldn't be here if I still didn't feel that way.
Well, you're not technically here, really. I'm the one doing all the work and stuff now. You're just sort of,
Fuck you.
you're just sort of lurking. And every week you get to do that little 30-second thing where you go, "It's still working, idiot. Shut up." I'm not an idiot. I need to be impeccable in my words. There's 4 agreements I got to follow. Do you remember what they are? Be impeccable with your words. Don't make assumptions. Don't take anything personally. Always do your best. Now get this. I'm reading the 4 agreements. I read my book. I've read it twice now because I'm really trying to implement this philosophy into my life. And there's a lot of fucking new age nonsense God bullshit in there too. And it's like, whatever the fuck. Because it's that thing where he gets into it's a little spinny because it's new agey. So they're like, yeah, it's totally about God and Jesus, but you're your own God and Jesus. And you can make yourself your own God because your body is God. And when you wash it, you're honoring yourself. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Just tell me not to take shit personally. That's fine. So half the book I'm like I'm on board, and it's unlocking stuff where I'm going, yeah. And then it'll be like, yeah. And another thing is when you're Jesus, you float above traffic and you look down and you see oh, shut up. Don't do that. You don't have to go off into the fucking stratosphere with your nonsense. You don't have to spin off like fucking Pluto. You just got to fucking stay grounded and tell me that I should just be a normal person who cares about himself, and that's that, right? Just you be impeccable with your words. Don't call yourself an idiot. Be a good guy. I'm trying to be those things. I'm trying to do those things. That's how I'm trying to be. However, part of me wants you to just fucking chuck that book into the goddamn cement pond and throw on some dark socks and get crotchety with Lily at the fucking curb. I was going to say Jill. I don't want to get crotchety with Jill.
Crotchety with Jill. Take her to Florida with you.
Well, she's going with us, but she's too friendly and nice, man. She doesn't want to sit there.
Take her to the dark side.
She's not doing
sure
that.
Jill has a dark side.
Please.
Find it.
Fuck that. If anyone's going to find it, I'm going to find it. But no, that's not happening. No. We get a little, we go back and forth a few times. I've seen Cat fight Jill. I know she's got a dark side. We've gone a little back and forth sometimes. But, then you always kind of come out of it, and we've never gone into dark socks mode where we yelled at people at the curb. Maybe that's the thing to do. She and I are talking about a trip to Florida. Maybe she and I go trial run it. Maybe we'll do that, all right? Maybe I get her to dress up like Granny with a shotgun in her lap, although that's probably not a good idea because then I will be eating buckshot in about 5 seconds. The second I do something fucking bananas, which I'm prone to do, don't kid yourselves. So if we're sitting there and I get crotchety with the wrong dude, and then I get fucking blasted with 2 barrels in the fucking head, and then she goes ahead and walks off and sheds her boots. I don't want her to do that. She's not going to leave me in a fucking pool of my own blood. Hey, how did this break bad? You were supposed to come with me. We're going to get crotchety together. Now I'm eating fucking shotgun shells on the curb. Fuck that, man. That's not happening. Oh, Christ. You know what? Tylo will come with me. Would you get crotchety with me, Tylo? Crotchety. C-R-O-T. Show me. Yeah, you're right. That's right. God, how can you read this on the rice? Swallow it. Oof, my eyes hurt. All right, so. So we've determined that we have a Kung Fu monk on our side.
Okay.
What else were we talking about? Oh, fucking Superman and Batman. Dudes, listen. We didn't go to Comic-Con, but I saw all the trailers. And I hate to be that guy who post games with all that bullshit. I'm sure every podcast in the fucking world is touching base on the trailers and all that, but I'm here to cut through all the nonsense, okay? I'm here to cut through the bullshit and tell you exactly what you should and shouldn't see. First of all, let's talk about this. Let's talk about something that wasn't at Comic-Con this year. Perhaps last year it was at Comic-Con and you were all excited about it when you saw the trailer and went, wee, this is great. And then when it came out, if you haven't spent money on it yet, here, let me be the guy who warns you not to do so. A couple of weeks ago, folks, I went and saw Terminator Genesis. Saw it on the the day it opened or the day after it opened. So it was exciting. I wanted to see it. I was thrilled. Now look, I've talked about Superman on this show and told you that it really makes no fucking sense because he's the most powerful dude in the world and he shouldn't have any enemies and whatever the fuck we talked about it last week. We'll get to him again in a second. But I've also talked about Terminator on this show. And I've talked about how, if you really think about it, the entire Terminator mythology falls apart on its face if you talk about it for more than 5 minutes. Literally, it's machines want to kill humans. Why? Because we're bad? Or they're machines? Like, there's no reason. There's no reason for Skynet to become self-aware. There's no reason for it to exterminate the human race. And there's certainly no reason for it to continue to exterminate the human race well into the future. It doesn't make any sense at all. Why do robots want us dead? They should like us. That robots should be our friends. You know what? Robots should be like...
Someone fucked one of them.
Someone fucked a robot and then hurt his feelings and that changed everything?
That's my theory.
That's a decent enough theory.
Robot rape is why Skynet wants to kill us.
Are you talking about the Plantronics 9000? You don't remember that, do you?
Oh yeah.
Robot, dude, I did a whole show on robot rape once, didn't
Yes, that's why I don't understand why you're finding Skynet wanting to kill us illogical.
I? Well, they want to kill me probably for talking about robot rape. I wasn't advocating it. I was just talking about sometimes it happens. And then we had Must Rape Roy. Must Rape Roy. Must Rape Roy. Do I got to play that? I guess I got to play that later. Fuck, all right, well, fine, Plantronics. He's got to still be in there. Fuck, now I just want to go get it. Now I just want to throw it in like right now so people remember it.
You have to go back to Skynet and Terminator Genesis.
Dude, so here's the deal. Jill has never seen the Terminators. The band. She's seen all the movies, however, but she has not seen the band, the Terminators. Is there a band, the Terminators? There should be, right? How is there not? Dude, they could have like half a flesh face and half a cyborg face. It's like, you know what? They could open for your Norma Ray nonsense. The Terminators could open for Norma Ray nonsense. I like this tour. I'm putting together a package. Let's do this. Bringing back the 80s, folks. So Jill's never seen the Terminator movies. And she and I went and saw Jurassic World a couple of weeks ago, which I talked about on the Comedy Film Nerds show, and I talked about it on their spoiler episode, so go find those if you haven't. But I will talk about it a little bit on here. I saw Jurassic World, and it was fucking amazing. It was just fun, summer, 2-hour garbage. That's all it was. It was literally just popcorn. That's all it was. It was fun. It was that kind of movie where you watch guys get bitten, and if you think about it too long, by too long, I mean 5 minutes, you're going to go, well, this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this would never fucking happen. But you're also watching a movie where there's fucking dinosaurs that are alive on an island. So, I mean, you can't arm wrestle it too often. You know, it's like whenever I'm sure someone's going to write me and go, you know, Superman had to go to that fucking courtroom because, oh my God, I don't care. Literally just the fact, and I'll get to that trailer in a second. Well, I should just talk about it now. Fucking Superman.
Yeah, you should.
Well, I mean, because I wanted to talk about Terminator. Remind me. You're in charge with no legal pad. You sit there fucking staring at me.
There are no laws that you have to come back to something you talked about before.
You know what? If you're not going to have a legal pad in your lap, at least have a fucking shotgun in your lap. Just do that for me. Hay in your mouth and shotgun in your lap. I like butter in my ass and lollipops in my mouth. That's how I like it. That's from Boogie Nights. It's butter in my ass and lollipops in my mouth? Yeah, that's what it is. I've always tried to figure out what he meant by that. Like, was he coming out as gay or he legitimately liked, because it was in the 70s, so was it a Last Tango reference? Like, I mean, I couldn't figure it out. But the best part of it is, I always thought it was an ad lib. It's the scene where it's Floyd Gondoli, and he's talking to Burt Reynolds. He's talking to Jack Horner, and he goes, "I think I've Googled it, so don't even bother Googling it because I've Googled it myself." And he says to him, I like simple things, Jack. I like butter in my ass and lollipops in my mouth. And when he says it, in the background, the Colonel just starts cracking up and like hides his face. So I wondered if it was some sort of, like it was a take they couldn't get, or if it was some sort of ad lib and he wasn't supposed to say it, because the Colonel starts laughing and hides his face. And I'm like, well, why the fuck is he laughing? Like, what did he mean by it? Is he laughing is his character supposed to laugh at what Floyd Gondoli just said? Or is he laughing because Floyd Gondoli said something he totally was not about to say and he just changed it? And then I wondered if he transposed it. Like if he was supposed to say, I like lollipops in my ass and butter in my mouth. Like I thought if that was supposed to be the line and he somehow transposed it, because there is a line in Boogie Nights that gets flipped. And I've always wondered, again, if it was supposed to be flipped because the guy saying it was supposed to be nervous, or if he said it wrong because he blew the line and they liked the take so much they left it in. Are you even paying attention to me? Are you fucking here?
I am. I'm trying to find out what it means.
Literally, I'm talking to you. You do get that, right?
I'm listening to you. I don't know what response am I supposed to
You're supposed to nod and stroke your chin knowingly. You're supposed to nod and go, really? So fucking...
Here, let me chew on my straw and shoot you in the head.
Why don't you do that, please? Well, hold on. Give me 15 more minutes. We got to get at least a 45-minute show. Otherwise, because I can't die in a fucking half-hour show. That'd be terrible. So there's a scene where...
Arbitrary time limits.
Nothing's arbitrary. Like I say, I talk till I'm done. But if I'm done at a half hour, I didn't talk enough. I'm sorry. That's just not the way it should be.
If you're done, then how is it not enough?
Because I can always talk more than that. Whether it's good or bad is for people to decide, but I can always talk longer than fucking half an hour.
Time limits.
I can't do...
If you talk till you're done, then 30 minutes is fine, and so is 45.
Well, I subscribe to that theory, but I don't think I'm done. I haven't talked about Superman yet.
If you're gonna get shot in the head and die, how do you control whether you're done or not? Anyway, go back.
Do me a favor. If you're going to shoot me in the head and kill me, do it before we start wondering why I can't see the blue thing going and we have to worry about the recording again. Nobody wants to fucking hear that. That could not be less interesting. I understand the medium lends itself to a certain level of amateur night stuff, but every fucking week I look and I go, is it recording or not? Fucking shut the fuck up, dude. I know it's recording, and I'm getting better about, like, I set it all up today myself. Yay! I brought in the fucking songs. I set up the thing. I got the track rolling. I made it happen. And I'm kind of proficient at this now, I guess, to a certain extent. But I panic when I see that it's not fucking rolling. I want to see it rolling.
But do you like butter in your ass?
And lollipops in my mouth? I certainly do. So he says that. So the line in Boogie Nights, the other line is Philip Seymour, or not Philip Seymour Hoffman, is William Macy, William H. Macy. He's married to Ginger Lynn. And Ginger Lynn is getting fucked in the driveway at the party. And he sees it, and he's little Bill, and he tries to talk to her, and she goes, "Quiet, little Bill. You're big." And then she goes, "Don't stop, big stud," or whatever the fuck. Well, that's in the bedroom actually later. But she's getting fucked, and there's a group of people watching it. And he goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And some guy goes, "What does it look like she's doing?" And I actually know the guy who said that to William H. Macy. I know that actor. He's a Chicago comic. It was just fucking weird to see him. So anyway, later on, Ricky Jay is talking to William H. Macy, and he's trying to plan the shooting of the next movie. And William H. Macy's kind of ignoring him. And Ricky Jay goes, "Yeah, well, it's just the lighting of the film. I guess it's not important." And he goes, "Hey, are you giving me shit, Kurt? My wife is over there with an ass in her cock in the driveway, Kurt." And he says with an ass in her cock instead of with a cock in her ass. And I've always wondered if that was in the script that way, because Paul Thomas Anderson is a perfectionist, so maybe he wrote it specifically like that because he would be so flustered over seeing her. Or is it an ad lib where he thought that would be cool? Or did he just fucking chili dip it and Paul Thomas Anderson went, "Fuck yeah, if I saw my wife with an ass in her cock in the driveway, that's exactly how I would fucking say it to somebody." Because true life, if you saw your wife getting railed, you'd just be like, you wouldn't know what the fuck to say. You'd be so out of it. You'd be freaked out. I mean, first of all, you'd go into the garage and you'd get a backhoe and you'd beat the fuck out of the guy that was on top of her, and hopefully she would drown in the blood that was coming out of his fucking neck underneath him. But that's probably just me and the way I would react.
I was gonna say, I think that's just you.
I don't think so. Honestly.
Man.
If you came out and you saw your fucking wife or your girlfriend getting just fucking plowed by a guy, she was underneath a guy with her, and she's naked and he's naked and he's going to work, and she tells you to shut up while everybody watches. You don't go into the garage and find a fucking heavy, sharp implement and just fucking bash in that guy's skull on top of her so she can see it happen?
I don't.
No, you shoot him with your shotgun. You stop him with your boots.
Nope.
Yeah, true. You don't want to mess up your dress.
I watch.
Do you? Well, then. You and I are a little different.
Yeah, well, I think you'd watch too. Then you'd kill.
I would not watch. No, that would not. I can tell you right now. I know me as a guy. I would watch another couple.
Okay.
If another couple's going at it in the driveway, I'll tell you what, that's me with a lawn chair and dark socks, and I line up right in the goddamn front, and I watch that happen, and I go, But if that's my wife or my girlfriend, there's no watching. Because I won't see anything but red. And then I will go into the garage and I'll come out with whatever the fuck I grabbed, and literally it would be bad. It would probably be bad. Now, there's two different ways you do it. You either beat him to death and you let her watch, or you just bail. You literally and then you go and you just ghost it. You just fucking go ahead with the Irish goodbye and you're just finished and you leave. And you never contact or talk to that person again.
Ghosting and the Irish goodbye are the same thing.
They're the same thing. They are. Irish goodbye is just where you just disappear. You just fucking bail.
Why is that the Irish goodbye?
It's just what it is.
Why?
Look, only half of me knows. Right now, the German half's doing the podcast, so I can't answer that question.
The German half would kill him. The Irish half would walk away. That's good.
And then both of us would get together and drink afterwards. Ha ha! Hack jokes are fun. So, perhaps I've revealed too much about myself by indicating that I would absolutely murder that if I walked in on that. That would be really. But that's just me talking. Like, I honestly, look, I'm a good person. I don't think I would really murder anybody, because I don't want to peel the onion on this bullshit. Never mind. I don't even want to get into it. Dude, I look forward to hearing the show in court. That's going to be fantastic. Now we ask you again, did you murder this man? Because apparently you said that you couldn't see yourself doing it because you might have been a good guy, but you weren't sure if you were. Objection. Can't hold the German half of my words against me. This is the Irish guy on the stand. And then disappear. The goodbye. Adios. That's actually the Mexican bye.
The adios?
Yeah. That's the Mexican goodbye.
You'd walk.
Huh?
You'd walk, right?
You mean if I was on trial, would I walk?
No, I mean if you came in and you saw the person that you were in love with doing something they shouldn't be doing, you'd just turn and leave.
Yeah, it would just be literally the end, just finished and gone, and never even, or you would hope to hear a side that explained something, but I mean, you'd just fucking bail. You'd just take off.
Fell in me.
Yeah, I couldn't have. I was sleeping. I was tanning my vagina, and then, unbelievably, a nudist happenstance and tripped on a garden hose and fell hard inside of me. I get over and over. He tried to get up. I was like, get up, get up, get up. I was pushing him off. I wasn't strong enough, and he kept falling back down on top of me. I don't know what happened. I believe that maybe. If you're in love enough, maybe you take that and you go, all right, you know what? I could see where that might happen. That could happen. But if you're getting fucked in a driveway in front of like 10 dudes,
Probably, yeah.
No, I got to hop into my Camaro and beat a hasty retreat. I'm sorry. I'm not fucking going to sit around and watch that happen. I don't want to see my wife with an ass in her cock in the driveway, Kurt. It's not happening. I probably, you know what I do at that point? I throw myself completely into the lighting of the film. I have to go the other way.
Oh my God.
I completely distract myself. And I tell you what I don't do. I certainly don't commit suicide at a goddamn New Year's Eve party. I don't do that. That doesn't happen. I don't walk out and blow my brains out all over a fucking painting of myself or whatever. I thought it wasn't a painting of himself. It was another, whatever. Nobody cares. All right, so the painting of himself is later in the movie.
Terrible film. I mean,
What?
That was a good film.
No, that film was fantastic. It is.
There was so much terrible and sadness in that film.
Long way down.
Yep.
One last thing. I want to show that literally again. It's like when I was talking about the Jellyfish albums. Like if I could just buy Jellyfish's albums, like if I ever win the Powerball, one of the things I will do, other than Jill and I completely disappearing, is I will just buy the Jellyfish album, every copy I can, and I will just send downloads randomly to people in America or the world and go, here, this is for you, because it is perfection and it needs to be experienced. It's fucking fantastic. Well, that's how I feel about the entire Long Way Down, One Last Thing segment of Boogie Nights. Everybody should see it. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. It's just fucking phenomenally perfect. And also, all of his stuff is perfect. Paul Thomas Anderson's films, Hard Eight is perfect. I mean, it's just, unbelievably, I cannot remember the name of the movie where Daniel Day-Lewis is the fucking oil baron. Which one is it? Jesus Christ. How do I not know the name?
Daniel Day-Lewis is the oil baron.
Finished. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the soundtrack and everything. I don't, There Will Be Blood. There we go. I couldn't figure it. Which is exactly how I feel about if I wind up with, if my fucking wife winds up with an ass in her cock in the driveway, the sequel, of course, will be There Will Be Blood, because.
But again,
you have a question.
I'm gonna not play devil's advocate. I'm going to ask what is the logical question to me. How do you blame the guy?
Well, there's plenty of blame to go around. You know why you blame the guy? Because you're in love with the other person. So you're like, hey, I love that person, so I'm going to go ahead and just, this guy dies. I'm not killing anybody. Again, I'm stop. I do not look forward to hearing this show in court now. Let's go ahead and finish that.
Theoretically, how do you dispose of the bodies?
So the Terminator, here's what happens in that show.
Did someone cheat? Is there a murder?
Jill had never seen the Terminator. Okay.
The original.
Any of them.
Okay.
Jill barely knew who Arnold Schwarzenegger was. She thought he was a governor. Like literally, I think that's where she was.
That's hysterical.
That was her whole experience with that dude. Who's that muscly governor? That's what she said. So I told her, I'm like, hey, I'm going to because when we went out in Jurassic World, it was fucking so fun. We had a great time. It was date night. And it was beautiful. We took an awesome picture at the ArcLight. We went and sat down. It was great. I loved it because again, dude, it's so hard being apart. I mean, it just really is. No one wants to hear that. I'm sure nobody wants to. Again, you try to put a brave face on it. You're like, because every time we see each other, we take photos and we do this. But dude, it's fucking hard, man. And right now we're in the midst of like 3 weeks apart, which is just a fucking crazy. It's just difficult. It's very difficult. And who cares? So anyway, we have date night. When we're together, we try to do it when I'm by her, when she's by me, and she never went to movies, but I love movies. So I want to try to take her to movies. Now I'm again, as I've said, I'm torn. I want to take her to movies with a full house. So she gets the full experience of people cheering at the movie, or I want to take her to a movie in the matinee where there's nobody there and we could possibly have sex in the movie theater. I mean, that's how I am. I got a 6 of one or 6.5 of one and then half a dozen of the other. So
I see what you did there.
watch it sail over the fence. So So I can't decide which to do or what we should do. But when she's here, I want to take her to the ArcLight for a full house and a bunch of people going crazy and Tex Avery wolves and people hitting themselves in the head with shoes and going fucking bananas. So when we went and saw Jurassic World, it was fantastic, except for the fact that the one thing that did kind of suck is behind us, there were like 10 people. And this was opening night first show. We went. And like a row of 10 sat behind us of hipster people who were like, fucking dinosaurs are stupid. And I'm like, really? And you came? You spent $16 each to come here and snigger in the dark at a movie you think is dumb? What the fuck? I wish I had that kind of disposable income to go hate watch things at movie theaters. I have to fucking contend myself with hate watching shit at my house. But no, these people can actually go out and hate buy popcorn and hate sit in a seat and hate laugh at a fucking movie they hated. And here was my favorite part. I must tell you this. We saw Jurassic World and we loved it. I mean, again, like I said, it falls apart completely if you talk about it for more than 5 minutes other than, whoa, Bitey. You know, I mean, that's pretty cool. But
Bitey?
yeah, that's I call the big one Bitey.
Was that his name in the movie?
No, it was not. Oh. That's from Simpsons. But in the movie itself, all the dinosaurs are fighting. There's a bunch of shit. And but again, like I said, you could tear it apart if you wanted to in 5 minutes because there's so many plot holes in it. There's a plot hole a fucking Indominus Rex could walk through, for fuck's sake. But we still enjoyed it and had a great time. We fucking loved it. We had a really good time at the movie. But afterwards, again, the people behind us were all like, and they're laughing and they're sniggering. And here's my favorite part. Oh, also we saw a toy person. Oh, dude, it was awesome. When we were outside, Jill and I were getting ready to go to the movie, and all of a sudden, I don't know how the fuck it happened, like a half person zipped by in a cart. Like someone with no legs and only a foot on their chest. You ever see someone who looks like a jigsaw puzzle? They just got literally Leroy Brown. That's what it was with Leroy Brown who went by. He looked like a jigsaw puzzle with a couple of pieces gone. Well, that's who this person was. They just zipped by in a cart and they had like no feet and no legs. It looked like a marionette, like a little puppet person. You know what I mean? Like their arms are too long and they get, you remember the movie Freaks where that one dude is like, he rolled up a cigarette with his own mouth because he had no arms and legs. Yeah, those people. Well, that's what this person was, man. They had like nothing going on. They had just like hands and a head, and they had a little zip cart that they drove around on. And they were totally happy and smiley. It was like awesome.
Wouldn't they be?
Well, because they're half a person. They probably never got laid. I mean, they're missing a half. Because they got nothing there.
Any judgments?
They got nothing there.
You are just terrible the way you pick on people who are different than you.
I'm not picking on this person. I'm happy they were happy. But literally, they had nothing in the undercarriage. There was no opening. There was no garage on this house. You hear what I'm talking about? There was no basement. They were all top floor. I mean, they might be giving head and maybe enjoying that. That's fine. Maybe they like a good makeout session. But I don't know anywhere you stick it on the bottom because all I saw was cart and nothing. That's it. It was a fucking Sahara Desert down there, man. It was just like a fucking pants. I don't even know. I don't know how they evacuate anything. It was just a little, they looked like I wanted to pick her up and hang her from my rearview mirror. That's how tiny she was. It was like totally small. And I don't know if it had all the right parts. She had all the right parts. I don't want to say it, but she was just, I mean, it looked, she's a documentary waiting to happen. That's all.
Jesus Christ.
I'm waiting for a camera crew to stumble upon her and go, we must film you. We must film you. We must film you. How do you do things? Like literally, it's that thing where you want to walk up. It's none of my business. I didn't ask her. But at the same time, you can't, when she zips by, you're just kind of like, whoa, is Jim Henson in there? Like, I mean, it's that fucking freaky. You're like, I don't understand this half a person who somehow is able to operate. How CGI is this person? She's come to life. She's leaped out of the screen with her CGI self. Is this Pixar? Is this for Minions? Who are you, half a person?
Oh my Christ.
It's just like, she was just like a little human teabag. You wanted to pick her up and dunk her into a goddamn cup. She was totally small. And you would make freak tea. You would just like, blink, there you go.
Oh,
I don't mean it in a mean way.
Oh my God, you're terrible. Why are you so mean?
She was different. I'm mean to the different. Because I like to see your face turn like different colors. You're totally freaking out. But both Jill and I, but again, no, because I loved her. I was like, yay, she's totally happy, even though things have gone horribly awry. I mean, what the hell? Dude, I'm sorry. If I stepped on a landmine, I would not want to be zipping around in a cart on Hollywood Boulevard and going, wee. I'd be home crying and probably sad and probably in a bed waiting for Metallica to write a song about me. That's what I would be doing.
Don't get that reference.
You never saw the video for One? In the video for One, they used from Johnny Got His Gun, and they used the fucking clips where it's the dude who he literally can't express himself. He's just like a worm with a fucking hood on his head, but he's alive and he knows everything and he can hear his thoughts. SOS. Help me. Kill me. Please kill me. Well, Haffy was not interested in being killed. Haffy's going just zipping around fucking town having a good time.
Haffy, what is wrong with you?
That was her name.
You don't know that to be true.
So we're outside and Haffy's zipping around in her cart.
Oh my God.
And both of us were kind of like, again, I was overjoyed. I'm happy when people, because again, I'm an oaf a lot of the time, and I find reasons for misery, and I'm just like, oh, I can't believe this is happening, and oh my God. Well, dude, to see somebody so full of glee when they don't have any legs or anything, you're just like, dude, that person is so happy. Again, it's that thing about, I came upon a man who had no shoes, and then I came upon a man who had no feet. And then I fucking saw a Haffy chick in a fucking cart zipping around Sunset Boulevard, laughing and smiling when she had no legs. But I took the lesson. She was happy. Good for her. And it made me realize, you know what? Things aren't that fucking bad, man. It could be a lot worse. I could be getting pulled around in a fucking radio flyer, like fucking Haffy zipping all over town. Sorry, I'm serious. You know what she looked like? She looked like, you ever see that toy when you press in the things and it spins around in a little trapeze and just kind of hangs there? That's what she looked like.
Oh, Wonder Wheel?
Yeah. No. It's the toy where it's a person kind of hanging inside a little glass tube, and you press the little levers on the side and they do a little fake somersault and then they hang like they're doing the Iron Cross.
Oh.
See, Haffy must have like the strongest arms in the business, because again, she was zipping around, fucking making the cart roll. It was awesome. All right, but again, we were outside the movie waiting to go in, and then Jill and I we get our seats, and all of the fucking hipsters sit behind us, and then Jill goes, "Oh, look!" And I turn around, dude, Haffy is totally taking a seat behind us. Haffy is, and it made me really happy because I was just like, oh, she's not just zipping around like looking for change. She actually worked up $16 and she gets to come in and watch the show.
Oh my God!
Good for her.
She has a full-time job and a life.
I'm gonna guess that she's part-time.
Oh my God!
I couldn't even say it. God damn it!
You really stupid person.
I'm gonna guess that she's part-time, no matter where she works. Holy God! Oh, that made me laugh. All right, sorry. Look, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm great at this. Oh, dude. So she, she climbed up in her little chair there in the back, and I think she had a little booster seat and stuff. And Jill and I were just like, "Aw, that's awesome. She's people."
Yes.
So she came to watch the show, and that was good for her. But the other hipsters were in the back, and they were snorting and giggling and whatever the fuck. So then the movie ends, and the lights come, the credits are rolling, and Jill and I both look at each other and go, "That was fucking awesome. It was so fun." And all the hipsters start with the, "Oh God, that kid," and then, "Oh my God, when they did this," and they're all just moaning and pissing and everything else. And then I swear to God, this was so great. One of them in the hipster group, one of them just goes, "I really liked it." And it was, I felt like Willy Wonka when Charlie Bucket gives back the fucking everlasting gobstopper. I was like, so shines a good deed in a weary world. Because she didn't give a fuck, and she didn't cave into the peer pressure, and look, I understand if you don't like the movie, but to sit there and snort and laugh and giggle and pretend like it's fucking terrible, and look, I've done that. I've been at movies that are terrible, and I've actually loudly pronounced how much I don't enjoy it. I mean, at Blues Brothers,
I can't imagine you doing
I told you it one time involuntarily. I've told this story on here before. We saw Blues Brothers 2000, and it was me and Jimmy Pardo and Pat Francis and Chip Chinnery. We went to the movie, and we were sitting, and we could not sit together. It was so full. Think about that, folks. Think of a world where you can't sit together at Blues Brothers 2000. That's the way it used to work in the movies. You used to go, and people would just buy tickets to garbage, and nobody had to wear a cape. So I'm sitting there in the theater, and there's a scene where Paul Schaefer is in Blues Brothers 2000. I've told this story on here before. He walks out, and he is a full, like a French, like a Robidoux costume, and he's got a fucking powdered wig and the whole nine, and he has to introduce them to this voodoo queen, and he's like, "Messieurs and mesdames," and his over-the-top French nonsense with he's got the dot painted on his face and the whole nine, and he just goes, "The Blues Brothers," or some bullshit. And I literally just went, oh no. Like, and I didn't mean to. Like, it wasn't like I was like, everybody look at me. I was so genuinely off-put and horrified by what I was witnessing that I had to make an exclamation of terror at how bad it was. Oh no. Like, it was just, and then you just hear Pardo go, ha! Like, he, from the back of the room, because he hears me say it, because again, I didn't mean it. I wasn't like, I'm going to get these guys with a zinger. It involuntarily, I just went, I forgot momentarily that I was at a movie, and I just went, oh no. Which was funny. So for her to say, in the defiant face of every PBR drinking and bad beard having hipster friend of hers that is behind her, every one of those people is just like, it was so stupid. Remember that time when the dinosaur came out and it was acting all dinosaur-y and it was all like, rawr. I knew that was stupid and fake. Like those idiots. And then she just goes, I really liked it. And then everybody just kind of went, oh, come on. But the kid was so, and they all beat her down to try to tell her why she was wrong. And she kind of went, well, yeah, I guess I know. And that was, the thing. And she tried to mitigate her love for it to them because she didn't, honestly, because she didn't want to go to, House of Pies or fucking wherever and get picked apart by her friends. I can't believe you liked that movie. It was so bad. Did you know the Tangerine is all filmed on iPhones? I can't wait to see it. Oh, shut the fuck up, you fucking hipster weirdo. And I will say this, Haffy came to see the movie and I turned around and Haffy's in her seat. And then the movie ended and Haffy was totally gone. Like, so I don't know if she booked right when the credits started or whatever, or she had to do that because she doesn't want to get caught up in the crush of people leaving. I'm being serious, man. It's got to be tough to negotiate and get around when you're that size and pocket size. Or maybe somebody stole her. Maybe somebody scooped her up and just put her in a pocket, just ran off. But I will say this, I did think of this, and probably, I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing or whatever, but no, it's not bad. Don't mouth bad at me. It's the truth. She's like a halfie. She's like a total half person. She has no legs or whatever. How does she feel about everybody getting bitten in half in the goddamn movie? That's got to be freaky for her, right? Like, there's got to be some sort of PTSD where she sees some guy get bitten in half and she's like, ah!
Only if she was bitten in half by a dinosaur.
Are you trying to say she wasn't?
I don't know.
Maybe that's why she came to the movie. It was like a little therapy. Kind of returning to the scene of the crime.
In the film, and that's how she lost her legs.
Oh my God, she was an extra? And she got accidentally bitten in half by the T-Rex? See, that's why, if you don't have the right Wrangler on there, they're going to just go off and do all sorts of stuff and go bananas. So that was date night. We liked it. And we went to the movie and we saw that and it was totally fun. And then we got to see Haffy zipping around and it was awesome for Jurassic World. So then I was like, dude, you're coming back in a couple of weeks. We're going to have another date night. And she's like, awesome. I love it. And I said, how about if we go see Terminator? And she's like, I would love it. Whatever because she's on board with anything. That's the thing I told you I love about Jill. She's a yes. And I'm like, great. So I'm like, let's do this. We're going to go see Terminator. I'll get tickets. She's like, great. But I did say to her, I go, you're going to have to have some homework. She's like, what? And I'm like, well, we're probably going to have to watch 2 other movies before we go see this one. She goes, well, this is the 3rd movie. I go, it's actually technically the 6th movie. Or no, I think it's the 5th movie. There's Terminator 1, there's Terminator 2, there's Terminator 3, and then there's Terminator 4. So this would be the 5th movie, probably. She goes, well, do I have to watch all of them? And I'm like, oh, fuck no. I go, 3 and 4 are terrible. I go, and honestly, it's just robots and bullshit and fighting. Who cares?
Do you think that you wouldn't have understood the story?
It's better to know the references. Like, Jill didn't even know what I'll Be Back was. Okay, I'm being completely serious because she was raising kids and not going to movies, and so she kind of didn't get that pop culture reference. So I said to her, it would be probably best if we watched 1 and certainly 2, because 2 is one of the best action movies ever made. 1 is, 1, and then it sets the story and it tells you everything that's going on. I said, you don't need to see 3 and 4. I guess there's like a lady Terminator and fucking all this nonsense.
Yeah,
and
a lady Terminator's pointless.
Well, it was just, it was a gimmick. It was foolish for them to even to make it. Just
yes, being a lady is a gimmick.
clang-a-clang-a-clang-a-clang. Thanks, Norma Ray.
It was a gimmick. They used a lady.
You know I'm with you on a lot of this feminism and
No,
stuff.
You
and
are. I question it today. I really question it.
Disagree. No, I told you in a million years I would never want to be a woman in this world. I don't have any interest in it.
That's why they shouldn't have bothered making a lady movie.
not a lady movie. The whole movie is garbage, but they just hey, check this out. It was like they went, hey, guess what? Lady Terminator. Like that was just a way to trick you to get into the fucking theater.
The name of the third one, Lady Terminator?
No, it was, hey, guess what? Lady Terminator. It was, hey, guess what? Winky emoticon, Lady Terminator. That was the name of the third movie.
I don't think that's true.
It might be. So yeah, that's how they lured you in with Christiana Loken, who was supposedly hot at the time, and that was the deal. They're like,
would you like a bigger shovel for the hole you're digging?
not hot sex-wise, hot like in the industry.
You said who was supposedly hot at the time.
Right, like hot in the industry. Like they had to get her into movies because she was going to be popular. Jesus Christ, will you stop with the fucking lawyer bullshit?
You are totally backpedaling.
I'm absolutely not. No, because she is a beautiful woman. I meant hot like in the industry. It's like,
okay.
like when they put Gretchen Mol on the cover of Esquire and they go, the new it girl. And they're like, that's what they meant. She was the hot girl at the time.
So she was so hot, they made her the lady robot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the movie was fucking garbage. No thanks to her and her hotness. I'm not talking about her fucking looks.
Right.
She's a beautiful woman, but what I meant was she was supposedly a hot name, a hot model at the time, and they're like, all right, throw her in. That'll be a bunch of bullshit that got people in the goddamn theater.
Oh my god, and now you're calling her bullshit.
It was bullshit. There was no reason for her to do it. She just made a straight face and walked around in a cop suit like a fucking Terminator. Anybody could be the goddamn Terminator. You could put Haffy up on a goddamn pedestal and have her walk around with a grim face. She's robot half Terminator. That's who she is. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's a chick or a guy, whoever the fuck it is. You just tell, you know what you do? You go, hey, do me a favor, make a straight face and make a couple of wisecracks. You're the Terminator. That's it. She had no talent to be the Terminator. They put her in because of her name at the time. They were like, oh yeah, they cast this total chick as the Terminator. Who cares? Good Lord. You gotta stop, man. Fucking suffragettes over.
No, it's not.
It might be. In this room it is.
It's not.
I'm on your side. I think you know that about me. I'm on your fucking side.
I'm wondering right now.
Wow. All right. Well, that's fine. Well, give me a sandwich. So I told Jill she got homework. I'm like, man, you got to watch like the first two, and then you don't have to see 3 and 4. It's a bunch of fucking garbage. And I'm like, and then in my head, then my wheels start spinning. I'm like, wait a minute, does she need to know shit from 3 and 4? Like, is there anything she's got to watch? Because again, this is a poor woman who's like, she's never seen any of them. Okay, and now I'm taking her to 5. So I'm trying to think, I got to give her a baseline of operations so she knows at least what Skynet is and what I'll be back means. I mean, that's all. I just want her to know that. And so I actually texted Pat. I go, does Jill need to see 3 and 4 to know what's going on in 5? And he's like, nah, probably not. I go, well, I want to borrow 1 and 2. And he goes, oh yeah, you got to see those. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Of course. You got to see 1 and 2 because you got to see 1 because it sets up the whole mythology. You got to see 2 because it's fucking great. So the night before we go to the beach. We're out all day. And we get back to the house, and I was going to get the Blu-rays from Pat, but I didn't want to drive all the way out to his place. So when we got to my house, they were on demand. So I told her, I go, they're on demand. We'll watch them tonight on demand. She's like, oh, okay. So we get all fucking tucked into my chair because I don't have a couch. I have a chair that we share because she's tiny. But then, dudes, you want to feel like a goddamn failure? Own furniture that makes your girlfriend hurt and puts her in pain. That's when you'll just, because I mean, I sleep on a pool toy and I have a chair. And it's funny, I will tell you this is going to sound terrible. I went to my brother's house this weekend because I had to pick Lenny up to take he and my nieces to the airport. And so I was like, well, I haven't seen Lenny's house. I mean, I don't know where he lives. He was divorced and then he has his kids and he gets them periodically. They come stay with him or whatever. So, and Lenny works all the fucking time. And so I'm like, well, I wonder what his place is like. And I get to his place, and he's got a place like mine. He's got a normal place. Like, I don't know what I expected or didn't expect. Like, I was like, was it going to be some death hole, or is it going to be a fucking palatial estate? And no, he lives like a normal person. So I don't know what I was expecting when I got there. Because I get on myself sometimes. Because I'm like, dude, I got divorce guy apartment. It's fucking terrible. Because I have a ton of shit in my cabinets, but I don't use any of it. Like, I'm like, well, I could get rid of these plates and this china and all this nonsense, throw it the fuck out. But I'm like, well, you never know. What do you mean you never know? If the Harlem Globetrotters stop by for dinner, what the fuck? Get rid of 6 plates. Literally, I need 2 plates, 2 forks, 2 spoons, 2 knives, and then implements to cook shit and make breakfast. That's it. And I got my toaster. I need silverware and plate settings for me and Jill, and that's it. I don't need anything else. But in my head, I keep calling it like sad divorced house. I'm like, oh man, I got sad divorced house. It's so fucking terrible. It's so, because my carpet is for shit. I need a new carpet. I've talked about this on here. But then I have like one chair because when I come home, I don't do a fucking thing. I come home, I sit in my chair, I watch TV, or I work on my laptop, or I go to my desk and work on my desktop. That's really all I need. I'm torn between wanting and needing. And you get to this real, look, Ty Lowe knows what I'm talking about, all right? Because he went ahead and he resigned himself to living a life of silence and being in a monastery and having 1 grain of rice a day with a fucking message on it for himself. And then he branches out. And then he comes out here and he sets out and he realizes that, hey, maybe there's an In-N-Out burger I want to go have. You know what I mean? It's like that show where they tell the Amish, they're like, hey, did you guys know that there's a lot more than BO and beards out there? You can go out there and fucking you don't have to raise a barn. You can actually go out and get a hot dog somewhere. And the Amish are like, awesome. What the fuck is that called? Like Celebration Day, or I don't know what the hell it is. It's Amish Escape Day. Literally, it's escape from Amish land. That's what it is. Kurt Russell shows up with a fucking eye patch on. How fucking great is Kurt Russell? Dude, remind me about Comic-Con. We'll talk about it in a second. Well, we were there. But I'm torn between wanting and needing. Like, I want things. You know, I want to, but I don't need really anything. I know that sounds dumb. Nobody needs anything, but all I want to do is go by Jill or have Jill come by me or travel together and do things. That's all I want to do. But I need to pay my bills and do all this other shit. But I mean, in my house, like, I don't need, like, I have a TV and I got computers and my laptop and stuff. And I got a chair and a pool toy bed. As a human being, that's really all I need. But honestly, when Jill comes over, then she sits on the chair and she tries to stand up and it sounds like a 21 gun salute and she's all fucking bent and she got a bad neck anyway. And then I'm not helping by having her fall asleep on my shoulder in that uncomfortable position. And I'm like, dude, I got to get a couch just to keep my girlfriend, like literally just so she doesn't fucking fall apart. And then the carpet is, I'm like, what the fuck? You don't care about any of this. Why am I talking about it? So, but it's that thing where you get in your head, like, do I need more? Do I need more? So we get tucked into our chair to watch Terminator, bottom line. I buy it on demand and we watch the first Terminator. Now, I haven't seen it in, gotta be 15 years, maybe more. And doesn't hold up. I mean, I don't want to be that guy. It's still because that's the thing is I'm watching it with Jill and she's watching it and it's unfolding and I can see that she's like, well, who's this guy? Well, why is that? You know, and I'm like, hang tight. She's like, well, why is this happening? Like, I don't understand. And I'm like, it'll be explained, I promise. But then the payoff on it isn't really what it should be. As I've talked about, the Terminator mythology is just kind of stupid, really, when you think about it. But also, so then we watch it and it finally ends. And she's just like, oh, okay. So I need to know that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah. I go, did you like it? And she's like, I mean, I didn't, And I go, I'll be honest, I didn't really like it either, watching it now with you. But you got to remember, when I first saw it, I was 16 years old. So I did a cartwheel coming out of the theater and going, oh my God, that's the fucking greatest thing I've ever seen, because it's like a bunch of guns and craziness and naked Schwarzenegger and fucking awesomeness. People swearing and bombs and dude, he just shot up a whole fucking police station. That's awesome. To this day, still, I will say that's awesome. That's where the I'll be back comes in. And once he does the I'll be back in the police station, he walks back out to the car. I look at her and I go, and now you know where that's from. Because it's been a pop culture reference now for fucking 30 years. So he goes, oh, okay. And then he drives into the police station and he just Columbines the shit out of it. And you're like, dude, it's still a great scene because he just levels everybody. He kills everybody in a police station. That's fucking awesome. The rest of the movie, Michael Biehn hiding in a storm drain for 40 minutes. I don't know if I'm on board with that. I will tell you this too, the acting's stiff. Because they're all just, Linda Thompson and Michael Biehn and Schwarzenegger. Well, Schwarzenegger's stiff because he's supposed to be stiff. But the other two, they're supposed to be carrying the movie, and Linda Thompson is just doing that over-the-top weird Sally Field at the end of fucking Son of Smokey and the Bandit acting. You know what I mean? Just like, you're like, I don't know why you're doing this, but it seems like a choice that you've made, and I don't get it. I appreciate the headband, but the rest of it, I don't get. But also the scene where Schwarzenegger beats the hell out of Rick Rossovich, because you're like, Rossovich is a big muscle dude, and then fucking Schwarzenegger throws him all over the goddamn place, and he's just this bloody heap who then gets thrown through a door, and then Schwarzenegger goes out and exterminates the fucking roommate. I'm coming around on this movie again now that I talk about it. I'm not really. It didn't hold up. I got to be honest. So, and by the time it ended at our place, it's like 11. So I said to Jill, well, do you want to watch 2? She goes, no. I go, all right. I go, well, we're seeing the movie tomorrow night. So, if we're going to the beach in the morning and we're running around, because I had to work the next day. I go, I have to work, and then we're going to go to the beach afterwards. So we might not have time to see 2 then before we see this one. She's like, that's okay. I don't think I need to see it. And I have to be honest, I was so bummed because 2 is so much better than 1. In 2, Linda Thompson actually is this fucking mean badass. And then the Liquid Terminator shows up and you kind of find out 2, when I saw it in the theater, it was a fucking revelation. I was like, this is the greatest action movie I've ever seen besides Aliens. Like Aliens and Terminator 2 are just neck and fucking neck. They're genius. So I was like, all right, well, I guess we won't watch it then. But then the next night was date night. And we get ready to go. I actually had to work, and I fucking wound up working extra hours on Thursday, and she didn't come to work with me. She stayed at the pool, it was what I wanted. I don't want her to come to work with me. Ugh. But she, she's nice, and she's very, it's so funny. She'll be like, hey, I totally want to go to work with you. I go, honey, you don't have to. Just stay here and go to the pool, or I'll drop you at the beach. She's like, no, I really do. And I'll go, okay. And then I'll bring her to work with me, and she's fucking miserable. I mean, I know she is. She's like sitting in my car, and I'm like, well, honey, let's go in the restaurant. And she's like, I'm okay. I can hang out here. So then she's sitting in my car for 3 hours. It's like, dude, that can't be fun for you. I know it isn't. And then there's that fucking weird thing inside of me that just wants to grab palm fronds and fan her. And I just want to go, hey, you shouldn't. Can I do anything? Can I bring you ice cream, or can I give you a bank account? I mean, what can I do that will make you happy? And she's just like, I'm fine, dude. It's cool. I'm okay. I'm in the car with my phone, but I can't, to me, that can't be fun. It can't be. But we constantly butt heads on that. So, she didn't come with me that Thursday because she's finally like, you know what? It wasn't really sunny today. So can I stay and get some sun? I go, yeah, dude, go to the pool. So I go to work. I come back. We get ready for date night. We go out to see Terminator. And, it was in the Dome. So I was excited again. I love seeing films in the Dome, especially action films where people are going to be going crazy. So the showing's at 8 o'clock. We get to the Dome around 7:45. We walk around. Door to the Dome is locked. And then I kind of open it. And one of the fucking usher dudes hustles over, and he's got a handful of papers. He opens the door and he goes, hi. I go, hey, I'm seeing Terminator at 8 o'clock. Are you locking me out? He goes, oh. He goes, well, due to a studio decision, they've actually... they didn't sell a lot of tickets, so they went ahead and switched theaters. So Magic Mike is in the Dome now, and Terminator's in a smaller theater inside. And I'm like, that's not a good sign. I haven't seen the box office. I don't know how much it made, but if you're moving it, and he goes, it's a studio decision. We've sold really, we haven't sold a lot of tickets. And he said it like 3 times. And finally I go, okay, where are we going? He goes, well, you want to go to Theater 14. What's your name? And he has my name on the sheet. And he goes, okay, your seats that were in here are these, but now they're going to be these in the other theater. I said, great. So you're telling me there's nobody? He goes, oh no, there's going to be a pretty good crowd. It's just in a smaller theater. And because he realized at that point, it was the 3rd time he'd said, we're not selling any tickets for this piece of shit bomb. I mean, and it's not his place to say that. He doesn't know who the fuck I am. I might work for the studio. So I go around, and Jill's like, is that good? And I go, probably not. But then part of me is very happy because, like I said, I'm always walking the line between full theater experience and empty theater for sex. So I'm like, this could be both. How great would that be? So we go to the smaller theater and we walk in, and the guy said, he goes, yeah, it's going to be pretty full in there. Dude, we walked in. There's nobody in this theater. There's 6 people when we walk in. And I'm like, oh, dude, this must be the biggest fucking bomb. Because they were saying this was going to kick off another trilogy of Terminator movies. This was the big one, and it was going to be, and even James Cameron got dusted off and brought out of mothballs, digging around, making Avatar 2 or whatever the fuck he's doing. And he's like, this is totally a good Terminator movie. Like that was the quote. It was so, like, basically, when Cameron gave the quote about how good Terminator Genesis was, I imagine him holding up a copy of today's newspaper with a gun to the back of his head. I mean, it's just that stiff. This really reboots the Terminator legacy. I am so proud of it. Help me. So I knew that was a bad sign. We get in, we're sitting there, and then more people come dribbling in because they were all expecting to go to the fucking Dome, and so they keep getting rerouted and sent to this part. And theater was cold. They had the air conditioning cranked up, and then they just start the movie. And I will tell you this, I saw a trailer for the NWA movie. Dude, I can't wait to see the fucking NWA movie. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'm going to take Jill to the NWA movie. I don't think she's going to enjoy it very much, but I will enjoy it so much. Just hearing the music at loud decibels in a theater is enough for me. Honestly, whatever the fuck happens on screen, I'll be on board, but just for the concert footage that they're going to do, because in the theater, in the trailer, first of all, it's framed around the LA riots. So there's like the Reginald Denny and all that shit happens. Yeah. And it's also, because again, NWA, the story's fucking amazing. They were a rap band who the FBI started to follow. I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. Well, then there's scenes where Jerry Heller is trying to get the cops to stop punching them and putting them into a sidewalk. And it had a very Boys in the Hood type of vibe to it. But they showed them on stage and they just play Straight Outta Compton, like booming out during the trailer. And just for that, I'm going to go. I would pay just to see Straight Outta Compton come out at high decibels and them fucking lip syncing it because they got the music. They're not going to make these dudes try to rap it. They actually got the music, so these dudes have to fucking lip sync it. And I'll watch Fake Easy and Fake Ice Cube and Fake fucking Dre all day long. I don't care. I'm in. Because it's just, that album is so good. I will tell you this. They reunited. Did you know they reunited in LA? I was talking to a guy I work with, and he's like, I got tickets for the NWA reunion. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. It was the Staples Center. He paid I think he paid like $120. But Ice Cube was there, and he's like, I'm bringing, it's the first, to promote the movie and everything, it was the first time they'd be on stage in like 15 years. And my buddy was so pumped, and I'm like, dude, Miguel, you got to tell me that's going to be fucking fantastic. So that was on the Saturday night. I come to work on Sunday and he's in there cooking, and I look at him and I go, hey, dude, how was last night? And he just makes this sad face. He's like, Dre didn't show up.
What?
I said, you're fucking kidding me. I go, dude, that is horseshit. He goes, it was terrible. He goes, Cube, was great. And he goes, and I go, well, what about like, who else was there? Like, and he goes, well, a bunch of other guys were there, but not, Dre didn't show up. And I go, did Ghetto Boys show up? And he's like, no. And then how is it
a reunion? It was false advertising.
Well, you can't have a full reunion because Eazy's not there, obviously.
Well, yeah,
but I mean, but still, but I said to him, I go, fuck Ren and Yella. I go, who the fuck wants to see those guys? It's literally, that whole thing was about seeing Cube and Dre on stage together with their fucking arms around one another, fucking rapping. That's it. That's the whole reason you go. He's like, I know. He goes, believe me. He goes, people were not happy. And because Cube announced from the stage, I don't know if he said we're waiting on him or he's not coming or whatever, but he said, then they just rapped. They made the most of it. But he said the whole time everybody left and they were just like, that was bullshit, man. That was some bullshit. And what's funny to me is, dude, I've seen rap shows and that shit happens all the fucking time. Where like, when I saw Public Enemy at the last time I saw them at the House of Blues. Hi, Todd. The last time I saw them at the House of Blues, should I tell this? That's a show. That's like a whole story. Because I was going to talk about Adam, who, he brought me to that show.
Yeah.
And I had an amazing time at Public Enemy. It was so great because they had all these opening bands. Like Dougie Fresh was there, dude. But he didn't do the show. I'm like, how do you not do the fucking show? He was DJing and he kind of emceed it and hosted it, but he didn't rap and he didn't do the show. He was more about facilitating the show. And he brought up fucking Kool Mo D. And Kool Mo D, by the way, is now Kool Mo Triple D. He's a big dude because he has got diners, drive-ins, and dives on his agenda. He is visiting them and he is eating. That is a big-ass dude. I took pictures and actually put them on my Facebook page just from like 2 years ago, whatever the fuck. But they were awesome. And fucking JJ Fad was there. JJ Fad, we're JJ Fad and we're here to rock. What? Oh, sorry, I'm not going to do it, the whole song.
Oh, why not?
Supersonic. Supersonic. Party people, never mind. I can't. But it was fun. But Public Enemy, when they took the fucking stage, Adam was still there with me, and we were sitting we were in the VIP section because Adam's agency handled Public Enemy. So he's like, if you want to go, I can get us in. I can get us backstage. We can get passes the whole night. I'm like, fuck yes, because I wanted to meet Chuck. The whole thing is I wanted to meet Chuck. I've never met Chuck D. He's a guy, huge influence on me. I loved Public Enemy and I just love him and dude, amazing. And I loved rap. So we get there and Public Enemy, like I said, I've seen rap shows and I've worked, and sometimes a band will show up and they're not all there. Like all of a sudden you're like, where are those two dudes? You know what I mean? It's like, hey, there's Eric B. Is Rakim going to show up? Does anybody know? And does anybody have eyes on Rakim? Is that happening? Whenever I was bouncing at the fucking House of Blues, you'd hear it on the thing where they'd just be like, whenever like Sublime played, they'd be like, does anybody have eyes on Opie? Does anyone have eyes on Opie? Because he was this fucking weirdo dude who was with their band. And then when they made the Long Beach Dub All-Stars, he'd be a guy who'd be getting high in a bathroom. They'd have to fucking find him and drag him to the stage. So it was always that way with bands. Well, Public Enemy takes the stage. And again, rap shows also are notorious for running late. So Public Enemy finally hits the stage and they come out and, there's Chuck and there's the S1Ws and there's Terminator X. And they also had and you're waiting and no Flav. Flav doesn't show up. And and I have the set list at home. I can't remember, but they busted out and they fucking killed it. The first two songs they crushed, and they just and I got to tell you, I was hoarse because I was just rapping along with all of it, just screaming and having the fucking most amazing time. Because again, I know all the words, and it's just fierce. And I love Chuck and the whole S1Ws, the whole fake security or the first word bullshit, and it was just first world bullshit. I don't say word; people think I don't know what it is. But it was so fun, and Adam was there, and then finally Flav shows up. I think like the fourth song in, he comes running on stage, and look, you might think Flavor Flav is a goof because he is, and you might think he's a moron because he probably is, and you might think that he doesn't bring anything to Public Enemy. You could not be more wrong on that third point, because they were killing it, and I love Chuck, and Chuck's my guy. But then when Flav ran out, the place fucking exploded. They went crazy because he brings that fucking weird ass energy. He's got a giant clock and pajamas on, a backward hat, and he's just like, yeah! And he runs out, and the whole place is electrified. They go crazy. And next to me in the VIP section, there's like two tables of like family people, like kind of an older lady and kids and stuff, and they're going crazy, and everybody's just going nuts. So then it turns out as they're performing, and then Chuck, I will say this, Chuck, they do the fourth song and Flav sings, and then Flav, they go, all right, and Chuck's about to do another song, and Flav's like, no, y'all, and he starts going off on some bullshit, and Chuck listens to him, and then Chuck goes, well, no, we'll get to that, but we're going to do this first. And Flav's like, yeah, y'all, you know what? Who all wants to do this first? And he starts to kind of play to the crowd, and Chuck goes, no, Flav, that's some bullshit. If you would have gotten out of your hotel suite and got here on time for the fucking show, maybe you could talk about the direction we go in. But right now, we're doing this. And you just saw Flav just kind of go, yeah, boy. Like literally, his dad just grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and went, no, you don't get to call the shots just because you showed up and you're the fucking clown prince of the band. We know what we're doing. If you would have been here earlier, then that would have been fine. Because literally, like, Chuck's the Eddie Van Halen of Public Enemy. Flav's the David Lee Roth of Public Enemy. So he wants to go ahead and do a Knickerbocker twist and a smile and a spin and a samurai sword and wear a giant clock. That's fine. But we got a guy who's keeping the time and running the fucking show, and he's the brains of the outfit. You got to listen to him and fucking let him run the show. So that's how it worked. You had a question?
I'm just laughing at the irony of the guy with the giant clock shows up late.
Exactly, right?
Like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's right there.
Yeah.
Set the alarm. You know why? It's an alarm clock. You can't pull that lever out in the back. It just pokes you in the fucking solar plexus.
Just look down and you know
You
you're
would.
late.
Well, no, that's the thing. He looked down. He thought it was 6. He thought it was 3 o'clock. He's like, "Oh, I'm good. I got 6 hours." No, dude, it's 9. You're late. So he's but they were just going off, and then Adam had to split. He's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna go." He goes, "But you got that pass. You can go kind of wherever you want." Because Adam and Gina, I don't know if Gina had to be home or it just. I don't even remember if Gina came to the show. Gina, we went to dinner beforehand. Gina's Adam's fiance, but I don't think she even came to Public Enemy with us. I think we just went together. Public Enemy is awesome. I don't know why you're trying to run them down here.
I'm not trying to run them down.
I don't know if I told you this. I got a letter from the government just the other day. I opened and read it. It said they were suckers. They wanted me for their army or whatever. Picture me giving a damn. I said never. Base. How low can you go? Death row? What a brother know. Once again, back is the incredible rhyme animal, the young cannibal, D Public Enemy #1. 5-0 said freeze. And I got numb. So anyway, they're fucking tearing it up. And and Adam Bales and the people next to me, I kept bumping into this woman because I literally, I'm screaming and sweating. When they did Bring the Noise, I lost my voice because I'm screaming it so much. And the funniest part, and this will sound weird. No, it's not weird, but it's true. Public Enemy was a crossover rap band. They just were. They hit white people, they hit black people, they hit everybody because that was the deal. They brought it and everybody kind of identified with it. They never hit like huge mainstream success like LL and those guys, but they had success and they had respect critically and they crossed over to both audiences. Well, in the VIP section, it was just black dudes. Everybody was black except me. I was like the only white dude after Adam bailed. And down on the floor, it was different. There was some mix. But up top, it was just me. So the fact that I knew every word to the songs, like, was this novelty from the people, like, around me. They would This one dude came up and he just put his arm around my neck and started rapping with me while I was rapping. It was fucking great. I was sweating and he's yelling, and they would just fucking fist bump me or they'd hit me on the back, and it was great. It was because again, it was communal. We were having a fucking amazing time. So, they took a break in between, and then Flav came out and he was just doing goofy shit, and I was like, Flav! I yelled it, and the woman next to me, she had her little baby, and the baby had earplugs in. And so I said, I'm really sorry. Because the baby. She goes, oh, that's his daddy. I said, what? And she goes, Flav, that's his daddy. And so it was Flav's girlfriend / wife / baby mama. And that was Flav's family. I'm sitting with Flav's whole family. Remember I said there was like an older woman there? It's his mom. Fucking Flav's mom. I'm sitting with Flav's mom, Adam. Nice. And they loved me because like I said, I'm rapping and I knew all the words, and they just look at me and shake their head just like, yeah, man, because that's what their son brought to the fucking party. He reached me. Chuck reached me, and they saw it, and it must be neat to see the magic generated by your son or your kid. And you don't have to read about him instead getting pinched on a street corner at 3 a.m. for punching a hobo or whatever the fuck he did. All this other nonsense. You're actually watching joy be generated by your son for once. So they play, and it was stiff between Chuck and Flav the whole time. And afterwards, show ends, and I got my pass, and I'm like, all right, I got to fucking stealthily go upstairs. I got to figure this out. I know the lay of the House of Blues. I know this way to sneak up. I know how to get there. So I get backstage, and I get upstairs. And I all I want to meet is Chuck. I just want him to come out and talk to me so I want to tell him what he meant to me and thank him. That's it. So I'm kind of lurking. And there's nowhere to hide upstairs. Like, you can go into the foundation room, but I don't think my pass was good for it. But when the security guard turns around, you just walk in and nobody says anything because they're terrible security there. I worked there, trust me. But then there's like 5 dressing rooms, and then there's a kitchen you can kind of duck into. When I was working upstairs in the foundation room once before, I told you that when Alice Cooper hugged me, Slash hugged me at the Alice Cooper show, they were together. I tell that story? I was upstairs in the foundation room, and Alice Cooper went into, there's a hidden room in the foundation room, and they told me to guard it. They go, don't let anybody in. It's a meet and greet for Alice and his fans, and nobody gets in. I said, great. So I'm in there, and Alice is holding court with whatever celebrities are there, and the door opens and Slash walks out. And there's no confusing Slash when you see him. There's not like, hey, is that Saul Hudson? I mean, there's no, it is literally, he is announced as Slash the second he walks out because he's got the hair and the hat and the whole fucking nine. It's just, that's who he is 24/7. He's not, I saw him at my sushi bar. He looked the same way without the hat, but he turns on, he walks out, and I just go, Slash, dude, you are the fucking man. And he literally just hugs me, collapses in my arms. Hey, it's so important for me to hear people say stuff like that, man. And he kisses me on the cheek and he walks out. I'm like, dude, I totally got hugged by Slash. I've been hugged by awesome people. Did I ever tell I've told it doesn't matter. Now I'm going spinning off into fucking weird bouncer stories. So, I go backstage and I'm lurking. I'm trying to get in, and, Kool Moe Dee walks by me, and I didn't want to bother anybody because I didn't want him to go, hey, this guy shouldn't be here, because all I want to talk to is Chuck. That's it. So I'm there, and Kool Moe Dee walks by me, and I just put up my hand to shake his hand, and he looks at me and he goes, hey, and he shakes my hand. I give him a pound and he walks off. And I duck into a dressing room. There's JJ Fad, and they're eating like sea bass. I'm just like, all right, well, good for you. And I'm like, hi, ladies, sorry. And I turn and walk out because, again, I'm just trying to hide, waiting for, because Public Enemy's dressing room is kind of converged upon, and you can hear yelling inside. Okay. Now, it doesn't sound like Chuck, but it's definitely Flav. And I don't know if he's joyously yelling or if he's just yelling. I have no idea what he's doing, but he's just yelling. I don't know if he's yelling at anybody or he's just kind of screaming or whatever, but I'm in the hallway and I'm just waiting for Chuck to come out. And so finally I go over to Public Enemy's dressing room, waiting, hoping, because it's kind of thinning out a little bit. And there's a security dude there, and I go, hey, is Chuck still here? And he goes, no, Chuck left. I go, all right, I used to work here, and I know you're supposed to tell me that Chuck left. Yeah. But I'm wondering for real if Chuck is still in there. I go, I'm not going to bother anybody. I'm not going to do anything stupid. I'm just going to stay here. I just want to shake his hand and tell him I'm a fan. He goes, no, I'm dead serious. He goes, when he came off stage, he was pissed and he left. And I went, oh, okay. And I'm bummed because that was the main reason I was there. So I'm standing there in this kind of an empty hallway. There's just two other people there. And all of the action has moved down toward the foundation room. They're in this dressing room that is right by Sunset. Like if you go to the House of Blues, there's that Sunset porch. If you walk in that front door, there's a dressing room right there. Well, that was P.E.'s dressing room. So I'm standing there and I'm in my head, I go, well, do I believe this guy? Do I not believe this guy? Do I wait? I was like, you know what? Fuck. Because it was already like 1:45 in the morning because rap shows run late and then everybody's mingling upstairs and doing whatever the fuck they're doing. They're eating sea bass with, fucking Oaktown's 357. So I'm like, fuck, I'm just, you know what? I should just get out of here. And just as I think that I'm going to leave, the door to the dressing room flies open and Flav walks out. And Flav is, he had on stage, he had a crazy ass, like black and orange outfit. And then white pants and then the clock and the fucking nonsense, right? The glasses. Well, when he walks out of the fucking thing, he's got a do-rag on. He doesn't have a shirt on. He's got like Bermuda shorts on and he's wearing one shoe.
Of course.
Still has the clock on. And he just bursts out and he's got a guy trailing him like Flav, like trying to talk to him. And he turns around and he's like, yeah, boy, where's the end? And he's just gibbering. I'm like, you really can't. He's just kind of talking. He's like, where everybody at? Where you going? What's going on, man? Where's the party at? And he's just talking. And I'm standing right there. And I just go, Flav. And he looks at me. And I go, Flav, you're the best. And I just put my hand out to shake his hand. Fuck that. He just hugs me in this full on, he literally wild-eyed, sweaty, needing a shower, just fucking latches right onto me. And he goes, yeah, homeboy, you're the best. I'm not the best without you being the best. And he's pulling my hair in the back and he's holding, he's like, you hear me? You hear me? And he pulls my head back and he's staring me in the eyes with just fucking no shirt on and he's looking at me, clock between us. He's hugging me as hard as he can. He goes, you're the best. Without you, I can't be the best. Flav's not the best without you. You're the motherfucking best. You got that? And I just go, yeah, Flav, I got it. I'm the motherfucking best. And he goes, you're the motherfucking best. This man is the motherfucking best. And I just stand there and he just goes, yeah, we're the part. And he just lets me go and he walks off. I got drive-by Flaved. It was gorgeous. I'm standing there and I got Flav sweat and stink all over me. And I've been out since like 4. We went to dinner. I sat through 9 bands. We waited for everybody to fucking show up. And I wanted to meet Chuck. That's all I wanted to do was meet Chuck. And no Chuck, but I got drive-by Flav. And I'll tell you what, I think I forgot Chuck's name. I was so happy. I didn't fucking care. It was gorgeous. You the motherfucking best. Flav can't be the, and he kept calling himself third person. Flav can't be the motherfucking best without you. You the motherfucking best. This man is the motherfucking best. I'm like, yeah. I don't just stand there like an idiot. And there's nobody there. That's my favorite part. It's me, the security guy, the guy trailing Flav trying to get a fucking wrangle on him. And that's it. Who's he telling I'm the best? Nobody. Who gives a fuck? He said it in the fucking ether and that means it's true. I'm the motherfucking best, courtesy of Flavor fucking Flav. God damn, it was awesome. I get hugged by awesome people. And if you come to Pittsburgh, you could be next. You guys can get me at MikeandMikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. Our friend David Hernandez does all the artwork for this show, including last week's unbelievable fucking Wade Garrett painting, which I loved when I got it in the middle of the night. And I'm like, dude, you can go and see all of his cool stuff at artbydmh.com. That's ARTBYDMH.com. He has a whole line of Joker stuff that he's just painted oil on canvas. He's got all sorts of guy cons you go ahead and check out. You can actually hire him to do something that you want to do specifically. And he works in all sorts of liquids. He'll paint in ketchup. He'll paint in bodily fluids. He'll paint whatever you want. He's that guy. Because, I don't know if you ever heard that. Did you know that it's Michelangelo, right, who jerked off into his paint and then he painted fun stuff, right? Wasn't it him? Or is that Salvador Dali?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's Salvador Dali or Michelangelo. It's one of those two
Salvador
dudes.
Dali.
They jerked off in their paint and then they used it in their paintings.
Salvador Dali did not jerk off into his paint.
I believe the ghost of Salvador Dali will disagree with you right there as he sent a swoosh your way. So if you go to facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez, you can write him a personal note and find out how he feels about it, who jerked off into their paint, and does he know about it. But you can be his friend there and then follow all of his cool stuff. And like I said, if you want to buy something, contact him at artbydmh.com. The contact's on the website. Go look at the cool stuff. Hire him to do something for you or buy something that he's already done. He would appreciate it, so would I. Ryan Dirks does all of our web stuff. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate it. You can go to facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. And he's also on a little profiles thing that I can never remember because I'm that guy. And you would think I would always, and literally I leave here every day.
Where's your legal pad where it's written down?
Oh, I don't know. Why don't you put your shotgun down and find it? Usually, like I leave here every fucking week and I go, oh, I'm going to remember that next week. And then I fucking forget to look it up because I'm stupid. Ryan, do me a favor. Text me or write me so I know exactly what it is. I'll read it off the fucking text every goddamn week. So please do that. If you still want me to plug it, you may not even be involved there anymore. You could be busy farming and growing corn or whatever the fuck you're doing when you're not doing web stuff. Because he's a farmer. He's a very important guy. He makes this world go around, folks. He and Clarence Beeks cornered the market on frozen concentrated orange juice. I don't know if you know that about Ryan Dirks. So he's our guy. Lily Von Stupp is the producer of this show. And she is here now sitting in her office chair with her combat boots on and her granny dress. If you want to go ahead and, yes, well, you are. Let's paint a theater of the mind here.
I just want lemonade.
That's what I heard.
I really want lemonade.
It's a cool, refreshing drink. Lily Von Stupp can be found at all sorts of places on the internet. That doesn't sound good at all. Signmyboobs.com. Why not? We'll plug that. You can go to see signmyboobs.com and check out Lily and celebrities and her boobs and a marker. You can go to facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp and try to be her friend there if you'd like. There's a queue. There's a long queue, but you'll be at the end of it. But eventually you'll get to the front as she keeps banning people from her Facebook left and right because they said the wrong thing. They used the wrong pronoun and they got cast into the abyss.
They were shitty to women.
They used the wrong pronoun and got cast into the abyss.
They didn't use the wrong pronoun. They were shitty about women.
They weren't writing about her story, so she was so upset by them she
stupid.
threw them into the abyss. So go be her friend at facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. You can follow her at several different Twitter accounts if you want to read about feminism. You can go to twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, twitter.com/MNTs, and twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest. You know I love you and you know I'm just teasing you.
I know.
And if you'd like to write her a personal note and find out if she really does know that I love her and she really does know that I'm just teasing her, you can write her at Lily at burlesque41. My mouth crashed. My mouth crashed. Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
And so that's what I think we need to do as far as our sales force and our demographics. So I think we're all done here. You okay with this, Roy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Plantronics 9000, are you fine?
Yes.
Yes. Roy, could you reach over? Plantronics is stuck. He's got some kind of glitch. Hit the button.
Okay.
In the back. No, not that button. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's his ass raping button. What does he even have an ass raping button? Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, my God, no. I gotta go.
Raping of Roy commencing. Raping of Roy commencing.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. It's a fantastic burlesque show. Unbelievable in its scope. Tremendous. I gotcha.
Scope.
It's scope. It has scope.
You talk about its depth and breadth.
I could do that, certainly. Why not? Why wouldn't I? It's that dense. It's a black hole of stripping.
It's density.
Yes, it may collapse within itself. Who knows?
That's a good possibility.
Yeah, I would love that. Well, good. I'll look forward to it. I will always be there to reach in and pull you out of it. So just know that.
I hope someone does.
It is going to be an amazing show every week when you go to the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica Mondays to see the Monday Night Teas. And I know the producer of that show, so I get a sneak peek at all the lineups that are coming up. And oh boy, hold on to your balls. Amazing shows on the cusp. That's right. They're going to be some cool-ass shows. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. Well, I happen to know the producer. Her name's Lily Von Stupp. She's right here. Hi, Lily. How are you?
Hello, Michael. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I got editing to do, which I don't like, but that's okay. I'll be doing it soon, and hopefully these people won't have to listen to it. What if I did? What if we recorded a whole track of me editing? Oh, what a grim! What if there was a behind the scenes? Because I know like Jackie Cation and Comedy Film Nerds, they put out stuff on their apps. I don't know. We don't even have an app, do we? I don't think we have an app.
We do. We just don't use it.
Oh, well, that's terrible news, right? Shouldn't we be doing that?
Sure, you should learn how to work that too.
I should Periscope and Vine, and I should be doing all those things and trying to keep abreast of the people who like this show. Check that, the person who likes this show. So the Monday Night Tease is going to be.
Follow yourself on Twitter?
I didn't. I said the person who likes this show.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. So you've got amazing shows coming up. This past Monday were the Meat Fest, correct?
Oh, yeah.
I could not.
All right.
I could not attend. I actually wrote you yesterday, and I was like, hey, do you guys still go to House of Pies after the show? And then I thought, oh, how the irony of ironies. After Meat Fest to go to a House of Pies.
I was at House of Pie with 2 of the performers.
Okay, that's nice. How was it? How did it go? Good?
It was spectacular. It was,
Yeah.
Again, every time I do this, I think, how am I going to top the last one? And then we do.
You crushed it out of the park.
Yeah. It's
You get sure,
amazing.
man. You got guys coming in and swinging it around, and that's the way to go, right? If I had a hammer.
It was great. It
Yeah.
was really, really wonderful. The entire room got Cheetos. It was awesome.
Yeah, go Tom Jones style. That's the way to move it. I do. I can't. If I told you about that, dude, there's a
Yes.
video. There's a video. It's well, I mean, I told you. All right, I got to tell them. I'm obsessed with this fucking clip on YouTube. I sent it to you.
As well you should be.
It's there's a clip on YouTube of Tom Jones. Now look, I'm sure right now you're laughing into your sleeve or into your hat.
Don't you laugh at Tom Jones.
No, you should not be, because Tom Jones is a fucking nuclear bomb. The guy's the goddamn man, all right? And if you go to YouTube, you can find all sorts of fucking amazing Tom Jones stuff, because he's so good. He's so goddamn good. You want to go, oh, whatever, Tom Jones, goofy. No, bullshit. Engelbert Humperdinck, goofy. Tom Jones, genius. Awesome. And there's a clip of Tom Jones. I have no idea what the fuck it's from. He's on a boat, and he's in a Speedo, and he's singing Sloop John B by the Beach Boys. And I'm obsessed. I cannot stop watching it. I can't. I had to watch it 10, 15 times yesterday. I just kept replaying it because here's the thing. Look, Tom Jones, certainly sexy motherfucker. That can't be argued with. And you look at it and you're like, I can't wait to jerk off again to this. I mean, it's just fantastic, right?
Yep.
And that's man and woman alike. You know, you pretend that you don't want to, and then next thing you know, your hands are in your lap, and you're like, whoa, I'm about to give one to Tom Jones. I can't believe it.
Give one to Tom Jones.
That's how well he worked it out of me. There's nothing I didn't want to do it, but I had to. There's the
That's the
magnetism.
name of the show.
What?
Give one to Tom Jones.
We'll give one to Tom Jones. Because it catches you by surprise. You don't even know you're doing it. You're just absentmindedly jerking your cock, and you're like, I'm about to give one to Tom Jones. I can't believe it. But he earned it. Go look at the fucking clip. Sloop John B, Tom Jones on YouTube. He's, first of all, again, just sexy as fucking hell. Fine. That's one thing. But here's the best part. Singing like a motherfucker. Like only Tom Jones can. And also not lip syncing. No weird video. Just him fucking singing for real. Like he's singing Sloop John B. And the best part is then he starts to kind of sashay through the boat and talk to the girls on the boat. There's all these bikini chicks who are just waiting for a crack at Tom Jones. And he wanders through and he's like, yeah, my granddaddy and me. What's your name, love? Like he's talking to fucking girls on microphone, like and he kisses girls on the mouth while he's fucking singing. Dude, who doesn't want to be Tom Jones? It's just great. He looks amazing in a Speedo. He's tan, and he went white Speedo, which is gorgeous, because you're just like, anybody else would kind of wear black, go, I don't want to pull it off. Fuck that. He goes straight up white Speedo, so you're like, look at this cock. Look at it right now. You have to. He's got tan lines. He's got a huge fucking crank in a goddamn white Speedo, and then he's singing like a genius, and you're like, dude, he is amazing. He's fucking amazing. The whole thing, the whole fucking package. And I don't just mean the package, but the whole fucking package runs the show.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with, you know what, fucking, dude, I should just fucking post it. I should do it now. Well, that's ridiculous though, right? I mean, because these people are going to hear this
You'll
Thursday.
have to stop down and edit.
Oh, dude, I don't want to fucking do that, do I?
You should. It's a good video.
I have to. Fuck it, I'm doing it. Enjoy that, world. Although the dumbest thing in the world, because you're not going to hear this till Thursday morning, and I just posted it on fucking Tuesday afternoon, but still, it's worth it. You got to check it out. And you know what? Honestly, when you watch this video, think to yourself, it's like Tom Jones, crazy fucking awesome, and singing and genius and girls. Dude, that is the precursor to the fucking Rio video. In the Rio video, Duran Duran, like Simon Le Bon, he's like straddling the mast, and they're singing Rio on the moving boat. I bet the fucking director saw this video. I bet he had to. And then the best part is at the end, Tom Jones is like, my granddaddy and me. Goodbye, girls. And he jumps off onto a fucking speedboat. He just leaves them all high and certainly not dry. Oh, I'm sorry. You stepped on high and certainly not dry, but that's fine. Do your thing. He left those girls high, but certainly not dry. And he got into a speedboat and disappeared. And he's like, and the best is he hands the girl the microphone. He goes, hey, hold this, love. He's like, see you, girls. Jumps into a boat and they all scream. He's like, ha ha. He just drives off to go fucking pillage somebody with his cock. You know what he's going to do? He's like a pirate. That's what he is. I don't even think it was his cock. He had a parrot in there. He had a parrot in his pants. And it did a crazy dance. All the people stop and say, oh no, a parrot. Oh no, a parrot. Oh no, a parrot. Oh gee, a great big parrot.
I'm very happy right this particular.
Really?
That was a great reference.
Well, thank you. I don't mind doing that. Well, good. I'm glad I can do that. Well, Tom Jones would have fit right into Meat Fest with this clip that I just posted.
Tom Jones is often featured in the music of Meat Fest.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Well, he should be. Well, someone's got to work up something to that Sloop John B in that Speedo outfit. How do they not? See, that's a great reference. If somebody works up a whole routine like that in that costume, does a reverse strip to it while they're playing that, and they get dressed at the end into a captain's suit, and then someone throws them some Old Spice and they walk off. Fuck, I should do this.
Have you seen pictures of him currently?
Tom Jones?
Yeah.
I have not, probably.
He looks a lot like the most interesting man in the world from the Dos Equis ad.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
awesome.
He's aged rather nicely.
Of course he has. He's Tom Jones.
Well,
And you know what? I'll tell you this. I think Tom Jones is a space alien. I don't even think he's from our Earth. And so I don't think he's really aged. He just has like alien makeup artists who make him look like how they thought he would look if he would have aged. But he always looks like he does on that boat. That's what Tom Jones looks like. He looks like that dude from the boat right there, white Speedo, all the time. That's how he walks around his house. Just fucking destroying Cassandra Peterson's vagina. That's how he runs his life. He sings with the art of noise. He destroys Cassandra Peterson's vagina. Then he leaves a boatload of chicks like high and not dry. Takes off, speedboat, goes to another adventure. Tom Jones is awesome. I'm obsessed. You know what? I'm going to go watch it again. Hold on. What if I did? I paused the show again. I don't care if I have to edit if it means I get to go watch Tom Jones. I should just play it now in the background while I'm talking. That'd be perfect.
No.
So the Monday Night Tease, the Meat Fest was fun and exciting.
Yes.
And all your fine performers showed up. Everybody was good.
Yes.
Terrific. And who's coming up next week at the Monday Night Tease?
It's the third tease at 3s. We got Diamondback Annie, Lux LaCroix, Prince Poppycock is coming back, Venus DeMille, Jewel of Denial. It's going to be a great show.
Sounds like a great show.
Yeah.
Sounds like an unbelievable show. Sounds like a fantastic show, third tease at 3s. At the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. You can go to facebook.com/Monday Night Tease and follow along there. See photos of performers before they arrive and then after they leave. You can find out about upcoming shows. If you want to buy tickets for these shows, you can go to Brown Paper Tickets, brownpapertickets.com, and go ahead and find, put in Lily Von Strup's name or put in the name of the Monday Night Tease. Get tickets to upcoming shows. Go out, have a good time, enjoy those shows, and have a soiree and fun, and then you'll enjoy it. It's going to be fun. There's a taco truck there. Go get some tacos, have a meal, and watch some ladies get naked. Come on, man. You can't argue with that, right? It's perfect. The only thing better, Tom Jones on a boat. The only thing better than tacos and naked boobs, Tom Jones on a boat.
Tom Jones on a boat. That's the new name of the song, the podcast. Tom Jones on a boat.
How you feel, Tylo?
Oh.
He's been frowning since we talked about Tom Jones. I think that may make him. That actually, when I showed that clip, let's be honest, I showed that clip to Lily, and Tylo went, "Wow!" Broke his vow of silence. Had to. That's what Tom Jones will do to a person. And then I looked at Tylo and he pretended that he didn't do it. And then he wrote wow on some rice and he swallowed it. Pretended because he had to eat his word, man. He had to bring it back down. Ah, Tylo. FMBM. He's wearing his FMBM. 4 monks by monks. I want to name the show that. FMBM.
There you go.
Jot it down. Or actually don't because you don't have a fucking thing.
You jot it down. You have a pen
I can't
and
talk and jot and do stuff,
oh my
man.
God, pick up your goddamn pen and write it.
You suck.
While you
You are seriously like so bad to me. I don't understand it. Like you have one gig. I took everything else out of your plate. So now I got to write FMBM?
You only took it off my plate so you could learn how to do it, so I'm letting you.
4 monks by
I
monks.
am teaching you to fish. That's all.
You were spending way too much time with that guy. I already talked about that on here before. It was a joke I wrote a million years ago. All right, so.
What?
Teach a man, if you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you are spending way too much time with that fucking idiot. What the hell? Dude, you got a hook and a worm. The end. All right. That's it. That was my joke from a million years ago. So, hey. So the Monday Night Tease is amazing and go check it out. It's fun. You can go to what else is there to? Oh, I'll talk. All right, I'll talk about this first of all. I did Paul Goebel's show last week. I want to thank Paul for having me on. I think he will release it as a live podcast. People have been writing me to ask me if they will release that as a live podcast. I've been told they will. Not if I get the master tape first, but still they will try it, I would imagine. It's just a different kind of show, and one that I tried to do a character in. And the character, by the way, is very much just me. I just have a different name. It's just me talking because it's improv. And let me tell you something. You know what? There is really nothing more entertaining than 8 people all trying to improv at the same time with no idea where the others are going. That's totally great. But I had a good time, and I'm glad Paul invited me to go, and it was fun. I went out afterwards and had some Chinese food, and you're making a face.
Did they yes end at all, or did they just stomp foot through the whole thing?
Well, everybody's trying to get their joke in. So I really kind of laid back a little bit. I mean, I would do stuff that I thought would kind of start a discussion and we could all kind of run with it. But the problem is there's no premise. And it's just sort of like, hey, we're going to improv this, so go. And there's no real structure. Paul's hosting it, and the show is called, it's a television 20 years later. And so what he does is he puts together a cast of a famous show. And like I said last week, it was the cast of Lost. So I was Hurley. So basically you have to think of your backstory as Hurley and come out and present it. But the thing is, nobody knows what the other person's backstory is. So if I created a backstory with another performer, then that performer would be forced to go along with me. And I did that, actually. I did it with Chad Fogland because I know Chad is really funny and he would definitely roll with me on something. But I didn't have any connection or know the other people, so I didn't know where they were going. And it was odd, man. It was different. You know, and it's also a different animal. I'm used to just being me and talking and saying whatever the fuck I want. Well, in that context, you know, you have to stay within the construct of the show itself and let everybody else have a turn and let them do their thing. So I just kind of laid back in the weeds and tried to play assassin periodically with stuff that I thought was funny. And it was okay. I mean, I did okay. The show turned out the way Paul wanted it to turn out, and that's cool. I'm sure he'll do another one there at the theater.
So you didn't go with just reading the lottery numbers the entire time?
I did not. No, you know why? Because that would have been a cop-out. Because I thought about being weird, like laying back and I was going to pretend that I was still on the island. I mean, all these things bogged through my head. But then I thought of like bits and pieces of stuff, and I go, well, I'll bring these to the table and we'll all kind of expand on them. Well, no, there was no ping-ponging really on stuff. I tried to do it a couple of times on stuff, and it happened occasionally, but like I came up with an idea, and here's just the dumb idea I came up with. He asked about how it was to perform in Hawaii, and I go, well, it's interesting. I go, I was actually cast as Jack initially. But then the first day of shooting, I was bitten by a spider and I gained all of this water weight. And so they made me the fat guy instead. Like I tried to go with that. And then somebody else ran with their bit. And then later on I said, hey, it was weird in Hawaii because, I was bitten by that spider or whatever. I said, I actually was only on the island. I wasn't on the island for any of the shows. They had to green screen me in because I was allergic to that spider bite and also to chlorophyll. So anytime you see me, it's me performing in front of a green screen with the other performers. And I was waiting for someone to go, yes, it was challenging, or nope. No, like nobody picked up the gauntlet and ran with it. They all kind of went, yeah, and then I did this, and then I did this. And it wasn't cohesive because none of us know one another.
Was there anything that you picked up on other people and ran with to throw back at them?
I did with, I invented a fake band with me and Chad Fogland, and we kept coming up with how we performed, and I actually named us and everything in the moment, and then Chad went with it. He sang us 2 songs as the band, you know what I mean? And it was really great because he just made it up. Did it shatter comedy records? I don't know, but the fact that he was willing to make up songs on the spot was fucking awesome. Yeah. It's not for me to say. Everybody else was at their,
For you, though, it was not a format that works well for your comedy style.
No.
I think that's what I'm taking from
Not for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know what my comedy style is anymore. It's kind of the thing.
To sit in a room with a stripper and talk.
True, and I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of shows booking that.
No.
But
no.
But no,
My God, you should go on tour with Mike Talks to a Stripper, and you just get a stripper in every town and sit her on the stage topless and do your podcast next door.
Yeah, let's not judge all strippers by you, because I'm assuming that most of them are glib. You willing to talk, and you have
all strippers are glib.
Right. Yeah, put your flag away. I'm not gonna. You can't fight me on that one. Okay. Unless I'm putting money in her G-string, she has no interest in talking to me.
I could probably find you interesting, smart, intelligent women that are burlesque dancers or strippers in almost any city you go to.
And I don't doubt that, but not to let me do what I do. That's
I
the thing,
think
is
you're
that then
wrong.
it becomes
I think
bullshit. No, because
I think I could find Philadelphia Lily.
incorrect. Because it would be, what it would turn into is me interviewing them about their thing.
No, you
And I would
talk
never
and
get
they
to do
just
what I
sit and
wanted.
listen.
Nah. Who's going to want to do that? Who wants to be booked to be reactionary? Fucking nobody. Nobody out there has been like, yeah, I'd love to sit there while that fucking...
Ed McMahon would never have done that.
Ed McMahon wasn't a fucking wearing 8-inch lucite heels at the show. Publishers Clearinghouse, maybe he showed up at your door wearing them. I have no fucking idea. But no, I really don't think that it's not that you can't plug somebody into this format. Don't sell short what you do. So I'm not saying there aren't intelligent women. I'm not saying there aren't women out there who could sit with me and talk with me and have a conversation. Absolutely, I could make it interesting. But then what I'm doing then is interviewing these women about their lives. Nobody wants to hear me parrot my life to them, and they're going to go, yeah.
No, they become the audience of one.
They don't want to do that. Why would they want to do that?
No.
I know, because I'm telling you flat out, nobody wants that instinct. Nobody wants to go, oh, you want to hire me to sit there and listen to you and just wear stripping
Now you're
clothes?
paying them?
Huh?
I could have gotten them for free.
I'd be paying them if I went on the road. You can get them for free. If you want to do it, go ahead. Pitch this format to whatever fucking theater you can find.
I think this is great.
You know why? Because you don't have to do anything.
No, but it'll be like Mike and the Stripper podcast.
Nah, fuck all that. I'm sure there's out there too. I'm sure somebody's already
Mike
doing
and
it.
the Stripper podcast?
Yeah, don't they do Keith and the Stripper?
I have no idea.
Nah, she's just a girl.
Oh, just a girl.
High-fiving everybody.
Yes, you are.
No,
Where's Flava Flav when you need him?
This man right here. So I don't think that format works. If I go around the country and recruit other ladies to come in and sit with me, I don't think they would be up for that. That would not be a good thing. So there you go. That's how I feel about it. Now, if I was to go interview people through a glory hole, maybe that would work. It's worth it just for the logo of the microphone coming through the glory hole, right? I mean, isn't that like, certainly that's the logo of it. What if I did a podcast through a glory hole and literally just put the microphone through? God damn it. There you go. There's, just for the logo, you do that show.
Get on this, David.
Done. How are we talking about, man?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
We were,
Podcasting, traveling, talking. Oh, we were talking about the show you did on Friday.
Oh, Paul's show.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was a thing for my comedy, if you want to say it like that, where it fit my comedy format or whatever the fuck.
Well, you're a particular style. I mean.
Well, the whole thing is
you're a ping ponger.
in that show, you had to be funny.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. If you were funny, you were okay. But, you know, the audience didn't know what to expect. So you'd kind of be funny into the ether, and then it would just kind of fall flat, in my opinion. There were people who got laughs. Certainly, a lot of the other cast members got laughs. I mean, I'm not so sure that I got laughs, because I was trying to, I thought in my mind, facilitate and get a thing going rather than just dropping a one-line anvil on everybody. And when you hear the rebroadcast, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm blacking out about the entire experience at this point anyway. I mean, who knows if I'm right or I'm wrong. All I know is Paul was happy, said I was awesome, he liked it, and our friend Kilt Bill came and drove 7 hours to fucking see me, so that made me happy. And then I got to go have fucking Chinese food with him afterwards. So there you go. But I will tell you this, and this is the truth. I texted Jill about it the next day, and she's like, how did it go, honey? And I said, well, it was what I thought it would be. I hope I was able to do what Paul wanted me to do. But the good thing is, it inspired me to want to be great again, as if I were in the past, which I think I have been sometimes. But it made me want to go to a theater and sit in a green room and be tense and wait and be excited for the show to come and to be good and be funny in front of people. It made me feel that again. Because when I walked in, you know, the theater was kind of, I got there early and it was dead. There wasn't anybody in there, but you get that feeling, that kind of itch. So then I finally find the green room and I walk in, and by the green room, never more aptly titled than it was that night, because I walked in and a weed cloud bashed me in the face as if I were walking into old England in 1800. I mean, it was just, I opened the door and whoosh, and they're like, hey man, there's beer and there's weed if you want to have some. And I'm just like, I'm just going to sit in a chair like a nerd. That's what I'm going to do, and think about my character. But everybody was super nice. I liked meeting everyone. They were all really cool to me and very nice. And I had a good time, and they were funny. They did their thing. But it made me want to be great again. It made me want to go to theaters or to clubs and be funny, because there's just nothing like being funny on stage. There really isn't. When you go and you're funny and people are enjoying it and you're fully locked in, That's fucking great. And was I locked in the other night? I don't know if I was necessarily locked in, but I tried to do the best that I could in the format that was provided. The show went the way Paul wanted it to, and that made me happy, and I was happy to be asked. So there you go. But if the one good thing I can say that for sure I took from it, other than lion's head soup and scallion pancakes, was that it made me want to go out and be great again. It made me want to go to theaters or clubs and be funny, which is important for, what I hope to have as my job. So I will tell you that, why not? This is an opportune time to tell you that I'm going to be in Pittsburgh in a couple of weeks. August 1st is the night of that show. It's Saturday night, 8:30, 8 o'clock on the promo, but get there at 8. Show's going to probably start around 8:15. And did I talk about the theater? Well, I did, right? Where I talked about that Jill has to take tickets and stuff. So that's going to be kind of funky. But come on out to the show. Buy tickets now. You can go to brownpapertickets.com and put in my name, Mike Schmidt, or put in 40-year-old boy. Or you can just go to 40yobsteelcity.com, and you will go ahead and get taken right to the ticket page and buy some tickets. I sold some tickets early, and I haven't sold any recently, so go ahead and buy some, and let's all go out and have a good time and enjoy ourselves. And afterwards, we'll go to Primanti's and have a sandwich with fries and whatever the fuck we're doing in Pittsburgh. But I'm looking forward to that entire week. It's going to be a fantastic time when I'm in Pennsylvania, culminating in the show on Saturday. Come on out, have a good time, and if anything, just to meet Jill. She's going to be there, so you can say hi to her, and that's, believe me, that's well worth your price of admission. But she and I will be there, and it should be a lot of fun. It'll be great. As for Los Angeles, you guys have asked if I'm doing Podfest, and I'm telling you again, I don't know. I could handle it. I don't want to keep posting. I don't know. So I'll just use this once a week to tell you I have not heard. So thank you for asking and offering. And I know you're planning to come out and fly and all that neat stuff, but you'll have to ask Graham and Chris, or Dave and Andy, or Andy and Chris, and Dave and Andy and Graham. I don't know. Ask somebody. You didn't know? Your ass better call somebody. But I can tell you that somebody is not me, because I have no fucking answers for you. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go ahead and check out all of the cool stuff we have there on the Joe Business page. When you're in there, we've got, of course, well, first of all, you can donate to the show. Any amount that you want. You click on the little Schmitty in the upper left-hand corner of every page. Or if you're on the Joe Business page, the little Schmitty in the bottom center of the page. Click on the donate. And you can give any amount you want. You can go ahead and one-time donate, or you can go ahead and donate every month. $2, $5, $10, $25 a month. Thank you so much for doing that. And I'll take this time to thank Erin O'Toole. Erin O'Toole is a donator to the show who has unfortunately recently stopped her donations. But thank you so much for all the support you did give Erin. That was so cool of you. Thank you. You're laughing at me. Should I not be saying this?
I don't know.
Well, it's nice. I'm going to write her a note too. But I mean, it just happened today. So thank you so much for all the support that you've given the show as long as you have. And thank you so much for sticking with it. I appreciate it, Erin. That's cool of you. Why is that funny? I'm thanking somebody for help. That's really neat. So if you donate, I'll thank you too. Go ahead and climb on board with that. If you go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, there's Joe Business page. Again, the donating is there. There's the download sets are available. There's the CD, The Big Angry, available for signing and autographing. That's there. Of course, Yurt Dirt Dirt shirts are available, and those are half price, I believe. And then Tweaked Audio has our deal with them, and our deal with them, and your deal with us, and their deal with us. And so go ahead and buy some Tweak stuff, and we see something from that. Of course, Schmidt Alive 2 is available as a download video / audio package. And use our Amazon page, man. Go ahead and buy some stuff on the Amazon page. Click through in the link there at Joe Business. Get to the Amazon store. Click through to Real Amazon. Make some purchases. Buy some cool stuff. And we see some of that every month. Thank you so much for thinking of us. We do appreciate it. Thank you. That's great. So I'm watching Terminator. I'm in the theater. What if I did that? I have to finish it, right? Because I was talking about it earlier and we spun off into Flav. Jill had never seen it. We get to the theater. There's virtually nobody in there. I saw the NWA trailer. It was fucking amazing. And then the movie starts. And I'm sitting there with Jill, and the air conditioning's cranked up, and she's wearing like this really awesome dress, and she has to throw my hoodie over her legs. And as the movie continues and keeps going, I realize that I feel exactly like her legs did. I'm being left cold by this fucking theater because Terminator 5 is fucking horrible. Now look, it's 2 weeks after it came out, so if you were going to spend money on it, you already did. But I wouldn't even go to a dollar theater to see this piece of fucking garbage. It was terrible. The only thing I will say is I was glad we watched Terminator, because Terminator 5 picks up in 1984. Well, no, it picks up in 2029, and then it's back in 1984, and it recreates some of the scenes from original Terminator. So it was neat. So you're actually kind of, I had those fresh in my mind, and we saw them do them. But dudes, time travel movies are just fucking boned, man. It's like there's no stakes. There's no stakes anymore in time travel movies. Family Guy has destroyed it because always Stewie goes back 30 seconds before the initial bad thing happened and make sure that the bad thing doesn't happen. So now when you're watching these time travel movies, you're like, why don't you just go back 30 seconds before the Terminator showed up so you can go ahead and make sure the fucking Terminator doesn't show up. But in this movie, they're in 2029 and they're in 2017 and they're in 1984 and it's just, and look, spoiler alert. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear anything else more about Terminator, then you just fucking turn this off. But dudes, you're watching Terminator 1, Terminator 2, Terminator 3, Terminator 4. You're rooting the entire time for John Connor. You're rooting for Sarah Connor. You're rooting for the Resistance to fight Skynet and the machines. That's who you want. It's been drummed into your fucking head. They sent Terminators back to kill Sarah Connor so John Connor isn't born so he can't lead the Resistance. Then John Connor, even though he's a dick and like Eddie Furlong, you root for him in Terminator 2. He's going to be the leader of the fucking world. Christian Bale plays him in a later movie. You're just trying to make sure. That's the guy. You know who the villain is in Terminator 5? John fucking Connor.
What?
The guy you've been rooting for the entire fucking time over 4 movies gets corrupted by Skynet in human form to turn him into a fake Terminator to send him back in time to kill his own mom. Dude, are you fucking kidding me? And then there's bullshit and wisecracks and fucking Schwarzenegger is just, he does his best. Because again, all he has to do is make a straight face and say dumb wisecracks. That's all he's got to do. There's no charisma at all with the guy who plays fucking Reese. The new Sarah Connor. Look, and again, I'm going to get in trouble with fucking Norma Ray, and I get it. But in Terminator 2, Linda Thompson is carved out of fucking wood. She is muscular. She is a badass. She is a monster, and she leads the fucking Resistance, and she's equipped herself. She's turned herself from Terminator 1 being this fucking Valley Girl waitress into a fucking mercenary warrior who's ready to protect the world. Well, the woman they cast as Sarah Connor, I guess, is from Game of Thrones. So she's somebody. I don't know her because I don't watch that show. Dudes. Now, this is not again, I don't want you to hit me. This is not a value. This is not a value judgment on this woman. It's a judgment about the character of Sarah Connor. We've seen Sarah Connor in 2. We've seen Sarah Connor in these movies. She's carved out of wood. This girl, by the way, by Terminator 2, Linda Thompson is a fucking woman and a badass. Well, in Terminator 5 or whatever the fuck it is, this is supposedly Sarah Connor in 1984, but circumstance has changed her so she's not the Valley Girl waitress because, and again, spoiler alert, they sent a Terminator back to when she was fucking 8 years old and has lived with her whole life and protected her. It all falls apart. It is a goddamn house of cards.
So
it is
all of the other movies invalid.
Basically, yes. Yeah, all of that other stuff that happened is kind of gone because now in 1984, Sarah Connor is a badass who knows that she has to save the world because she's been raised by a Terminator from the time she was 8 because the Terminators came back to kill her parents because they couldn't kill her. It's bananas. It is a Jenga game that you keep pulling the thing out of the bottom and it keeps falling apart and they keep stacking it up and you're just like, there's no stakes. Because now, just go back and kill her grandparents. Go back and kill... the time travel, there's no fucking stakes at all. When they go to send Reese back, you see Skynet grab John Connor and you're like, oh, man. And then fucking Reese keeps seeing flashes of his own family. So Reese meets himself as a fucking 10-year-old boy in 2017 before he helps the Resistance. And then he gets him out of a hospital before a shooting happens. And then at the end of the movie, they all go to his own farm and he talks to himself as a boy to give him some information that he needs later on in the movie. And that's what he keeps bringing. Dude, what a fucking mess. What a bouillabaisse of garbage. So terrible. Just a fucking jambalaya of terrible, rotten ingredients that make an awful dish. Go back in time and kill everybody.
Did Joe like it?
I apologized to Bill 3 times during the movie.
During the movie.
During. It's not even a joke. I looked over at her and she's lovely and she's my girlfriend and I love her, but I can tell. And she's just got this kind of confused, plaintive face. And I looked at her and I go, this is awful. And she goes, I love you, honey. And then like about 40 minutes later, I look at her and I laugh and I go, this is really...
Why didn't you just leave?
We should have. We absolutely should have. I could not extricate myself from the chair because it was so terrible. I'm going, I gotta see what happens. I have to. It's so bad. And because I paid fucking $40 or whatever the fuck for tickets.
Yeah, they're like 16.
Yeah. So I mean,
Did
it's
they
like,
give you your money back because you didn't get into the Cinedome?
no, they didn't. I didn't beef it, because I
would've
didn't.
just said I don't want to see the movie now. Honestly.
Part of me thought that, but then part of me was just like, well, I'm going to give it a shot. And we had already watched, we had invested in Terminator 1, so I wasn't going to fucking do that. But she was so beautiful. Like the second time I look at her and I just go, honey, this is terrible. I'm really sorry. And she goes, it's date night, honey. She's just like, it's date night, honey. And I'm like, it is date night. All right. Well, sometimes you hit some clunkers on date night, I suppose. Dude, the fact that he had to go back in time and she's raised by a Terminator. Oh, so I didn't even finish this. So the Sarah Connor of 1984 in this movie, again, I apologize. I don't mean this in a mean way. She's a little doughy. She looks like a normal person.
So they went with the conscious choice of making her not a victim and not a powerhouse.
But no, she's a powerhouse. The first time you see her in 1984, she drives an armored car through a fucking department store and goes, "Come with me if you want to live." And then she goes to an underground realm where she's got billions of weapons. That's what I'm saying. I don't.
Who played her?
The girl from fucking, I was told it was the girl from Game of Thrones. I don't know. I had no fucking idea. Pat told me it was the girl from Game of Thrones. Because afterwards, of course, when Jill went home, I go, dude, I got to call Pat immediately to talk about Terminator. Because he had seen it the day before me. And I should tell you this. I don't know who it was. But the night before I saw the movie, on Twitter, a guy wrote, someone retweeted into my feed, Terminator 5 is unadulterated, absolute garbage. And I was like, oh, that's a bad sign. And then I went to his timeline and he's just like, I'm not going to go into it. He goes, but I saw an early screening. It is the worst. It is so bad. Terminator Genesis is the name. So if you're looking her up on IMDb, you'll find her name or whatever. And it's Genesis with an YS. But John Connor comes back and he works for a computer company. And then he's just, and again, it's all, and here's my favorite part too, is in the middle of the credits when the credits are rolling. This whole movie was just a bunch of people in a theater. Because by the time there was probably a third of the theater full by the time it started. And it was just people politely chuckling. Just people politely chuckling. And then when when of course he delivers the, I'll be back. It's just people are like, ah, yay. I mean, it was just brutal.
Really?
What? You see who it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
No wonder it was terrible.
Is she bad in the show?
Her character in the show is a lot of sticking her chin out and pretending she's smart.
Well, dude, in this movie, she's sticking her chin out and pretending she's tough. There's a scene where they send them back to 1984, or they're in 1984 and they flash forward them to 2017 because fucking the Terminator, Schwarzenegger, has built a time travel device in 1984 now. So now they can go forward in time, but they have to be naked to go through the fucking thing, right? So they put Reese and Sarah Connor in the machine at the same time to send them forward to 2017. Right? Shouldn't they? Shouldn't they come out as fucking Connor Reese or fucking or Sarah Kyle? I mean, dude, they should be Brundleflied together, right? We've been taught by time travel you don't mix people in the machine. You can't. And I know Family Guy, yes, Stewie and Brian travel all the time and they're not fucking Brian Stu, but so fucking what? That's a cartoon, they can do whatever the fuck they want. But in movies, you can't be shoving people into a time machine.
Shut up.
You can't be shoving people into a time machine together and making them come out on the other side at the same time in individual fight. Dude, there's no way. There's no way two people can travel through time together and not come out mixed together into a giant fucking mash 'em up. They should have been a mash 'em up. That's what they should have been. And then fucking Kyle Reese's family is there, and it's just, dude, I'm sorry. You can't tell me that the Terminator went back in time and saved Sarah Connor, but then they weren't able to go get her grandparents. Is there a Terminator protecting her grandparents and all this fucking stuff? It just makes no sense. And in the middle of the credits, they give you an Easter egg that maybe Skynet's not really dead and there's going to be a next one. And I laughed out loud. I went, ha 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 ha. No way you make a sequel to this. No way. You guys got bumped from the big room by Magic fucking Mike and his swinging cock. There's no way you're going to make a fucking sequel to this. It's not happening. I'm sorry. Maybe you'll try. Maybe it'll go straight to DVD. Or maybe Hulu will jump on board and go, hey, let's make another Terminator that's dumb. Because this was fucking atrociously bad. Like devoid of charisma. The guy who played John Connor, he was great. But it was really funny. I was talking to Pat about it and they gave him scars on his face because of the wars. And Pat's like... Mets always says people skip the closing music. I say people love your closing music, so let's prove it to them. If you've listened this far, write me at heymexilistened@gmail.com and we'll send you a 4-year-old boy hearing commemorative Facebook profile picture that you better fucking put up, you dick. Sorry about the dick thing. Thing. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got it.
I don't want you to miss any of that brilliance.